Well, it's a red letter day because the internet invented something new to masturbate to. Yes, it's a Cinderella tale of a princess that could and did and has been a lot in the past couple of days. But as that's breaking the internet and Telltale Games is breaking up people's families and home lives. Yes, all this and more on a sexy boulette of dude soup.
Big fan of bullet.
Yeah, it's sexy now. It's got huge tits and wide hips.
So all you need to do is make something sexy, put huge tits on it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, I'm just asking.
And
Put
like
huge tits on a truck, I'd be like, all right.
Sexy truck.
All right.
or balls.
There's like a Venn diagram where it's like, if it has huge tits, it's sexy. But if it doesn't, it's not necessarily not sexy.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I get you.
as long as they're the right shape and in the right place.
I've seen things with huge tits
Well,
that
yeah,
are
you can
not
probably have
sexy, though.
yeah, you're right, and you
Like
can
an
have
alligator.
unsexy tits.
Like an
also.
alligator, for example.
Like a dog that's just had like a huge litter and is just ragged.
That's
Not
got
sexy.
huge tits.
Not sexy.
Yeah, that's
8 of them.
actually swollen tits.
Eight huge swollen tits.
like swollen, but then they get drained and they're just kind of
Well, they're like pointy. is the
Yeah.
they're all
thing.
saggy. They're called teats.
Never have puppies. If you're listening out there, bitches.
goodness, that's got a lot of crossover. All right. Well, I'm your host, Lawrence. I'll take you through this this cesspool of internet kink. I don't know. We were just discussing if. Yeah, no, this is definitely kink. I'm joined with 3 expert panelists who all know very well about crossovers in the Mario universe. Who's most likely to cross Peach with Bowser because Bowser's jacked and everybody should be jacked. James Willems.
Thank you.
Makes sense.
Most likely to cross Peach with Link.
That's right.
Because he respects strong women. Bruce Green.
Absolutely. I would love to see Sheik in real life.
And most likely to cross Peach with Vivian because that's the most obscure Nintendo character I could think of. Alanah Pierce.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, I have seen a lot of sexy Vivian shit, but I've never seen. Never mind.
Have they done Donkey
Vivian's
Kong
inherently
yet?
kind of sexy. Well, yeah, wouldn't that just be, what's her name?
Yeah, that's the rabbit, right?
No,
No, the other-
there's a pink,
Candy Kong or
what's
whatever.
her name?
Oh,
Candy
gross.
Kong.
The one with the tube top.
Bruce somehow knew.
She's got
Was
some
it,
pink
did I get it
on her.
right? Was
It's
it
Candy
Candy
Kong,
Oh,
right?
Dixie Kong.
Dixie.
There.
Dixie.
I was like,
Close.
there's
Wait,
no
no,
way.
Isn't Dixie the one with pigtails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Candy. Candy is
Candy's
the adult
gross.
sexy one.
Did I get it right?
Bruce is right.
You were right.
I never get that stuff right.
I don't know who that is.
Well,
She's the one who
No, it's not, it's
who
not
saves
bad.
your game.
It's not bad, Lawrence.
Omar, can you switch us over?
It will be.
Yeah, there it goes.
Bang.
Right? Yeah, she saves your game.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's
That
super
makes
sexy.
me deeply
That's why I got it right.
uncomfortable.
That's why you remembered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Candy
she is
Kong.
sexy.
Whoa, she's hot.
Wow, wow, wow.
This is
Polygons
from,
in all the right places, am I right?
No.
Look at that
Yeah. Why is she
Yeah.
so tall?
She has a really good waist to hip ratio.
That's what supermodels are tall. Most supermodels are very tall, and she is a supermodel.
Don't like that she's humanoid.
Would you
Not a
rather her
fan.
be hunched and
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Yeah,
Twisted?
just go full Kong.
I think you can still make a hunched gorilla sexy. Again, just give it giant tits.
I don't know
you're
about that one. I've seen them.
Yeah, it is odd though how they bend the rules of their own anthropomorphization.
Yeah,
Didn't
because
Coco died recently? That's that female
Oh, yeah, the
gorilla
one
that
that could
could
sign?
Yeah.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
Not sexy.
a sexy, but it's technically a sexy gorilla like that would have a big ass, because that's why monkeys have pronounced asses because they're bent over. So we didn't develop breasts. I mean, we as in you and I
Yeah, go on.
didn't develop breasts until we started standing upright. Because they need,
I see.
mammals or whatever apes needed something to see right in front that represented fertility.
Wow.
That's why monkeys have big asses, because then they're like,
Because they can see because they're all
if you're
low.
hunched over, you can't see nothing.
Wait, but if they all have big asses, doesn't that kind of
No,
defeat
it's the
point?
women have the
have more
female.
pronounced
The
asses?
female.
didn't
Sorry,
know.
excuse me. The women apes have more pronounced asses.
didn't
That's
know
where their sexuality or fertility
All
or
right.
whatever is.
This is
Man,
the best
I-
podcast
good
we've
stuff.
ever
I
done.
could get into
All
a
right, back
female,
to apes being sexy.
female
All right.
ape because I like pronounced asses.
They
just
got
makes
boobs
it-
on their butts.
It makes it simple, yeah.
R.I.P. Coco.
Just combine every sexual body
you.
part into one thing and put it right out there,
Just
please.
do think about the fact, though, that basically any male species needs to have boobs directly in line of sight, right? Like, so as soon as we evolve to change line of sight, boobs need to be there.
Yeah, otherwise it's not getting fucked.
Boy, the Black Eyed Peas had it right.
I feel like dogs don't have anything
My
like
lovely lady lumps.
Yeah.
Get
Check
them
them
right
out.
up in front.
that. Really spans species.
Philosophers.
Really thought ahead.
All right. This podcast is brought to you by 3 sponsors. Dollar Shave Club, Hymns, and Loot Crate. You can get a starter pack from Dollar Shave Club for $5 at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. You can get a trial month of Hymns for $5 at 4hymns.com/soup. And you can subscribe to Loot Crate now at lootcrate.com/dude for 15% off your subscription. Hear more from them later. First, yeah, we got something new to masturbate to. I spent all morning downloading pictures of Bowsette, one of the best uses of corporate time that I can imagine. Omar, let's throw up that beautiful slideshow and get this rolling.
I love that you
good start.
You made a really nice slideshow.
Good start.
Oh, I just collected
Not
pictures.
that much of a fan of that one.
Yeah, so sorry, audio listeners, but hey, you know what? It's only a Google search away. So let me run through the chronology of what happened here. Nintendo announced Super Mario Deluxe for Switch, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is a punch-up of New Super Mario Bros. U that came out a long time ago. In this, they have a new power-up called the Super Crown, which is, hold on, Omar, let's click her back over here for a quick second. So this is a crown with a little mushroom cap baked into it that when somebody puts it on, they become a Peach version of that character.
Oh.
So the one shown was Peachette, which is Peach crossed with Toadette.
Oh, okay.
Bizarrely, that's where the
Got
"et"
it.
comes from.
Got it.
So this this really rocked the Mario fandom to the core. There was a post on Reset Era that was posted. Let's see, what's the date stamp on this? September 13th, titled elegantly, "So what the hell is up with Peachette?" It reads, "There's just random crowns lying all over that turn Toadette and only Toadette into a near exact copy of Peach named Peachette." The writer then goes on to rationalize. "So toads can evolve into humans if they have the appropriate headgear. Is that why it's not until Odyssey that they know about hats? Peach is keeping it from them to prevent a rival to challenge her. It can't be that Peach herself is just a mature toad with a power-up, because this is an awful world we live in and Baby Peach exists as a character for some reason. Oh, but in Mario 64 DS there were caps. Okay, my answer to that is that I don't really care. And those did not turn Yoshi into Mario or some weird hybrid like Yoshario or Mawario."
Are we doing hard Nettin right now?
Not yet.
I mean, it makes sense.
No, it totally
There's
makes
a
sense,
crown, and when something puts on the crown, this whole time we thought that Peach was just, I prefer this actually, that Peach was some sort of humanoid that ruled over the Toad Kingdom, right? Which is, it seems weird, right? It
does
seems
seem
like,
weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
colonialism or
Yeah.
imperialism or something like that, right?
Speciesism.
But it makes more.
Whoa!
Still, don't have to blur that.
That's true. You
It
don't.
just
We're
went up
getting demonetized,
15
though.
degrees. But it makes more sense that you elect a monarch or something like that. You get a ruler, and then that ruler is then given a
the
crown such that they can better have diplomatic relations
Right,
with
it-
the human
right.
world.
But then the
I like
crown
it.
turns them into a humanoid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that they are still pot toads, so they rule over the toads properly. Toads?
Yeah.
Is that the plural?
The Toad
I don't know.
Kingdom.
Mushroom
The
Kingdom.
Mushroom,
Mushroom
Kingdom,
Kingdom.
yes. But then they also pot humans so they can interact with Mario, etc.
Yeah. But then ultimately
it.
at the end of the night, they take off the crown, turn back into a toad, sleep in the nude. That's how it
So
works.
then how do we jump from that to it being sexy?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So a lot of people started theorizing once the precedent was set. People then started imagining what happens if other characters put on the Super Crown, leading quickly to Rule 63, which is similar to Rule 34, is a pretty commonly sourced rule. Internet adage that states for every fictional character there exists an opposite gender counterpart. That's
true.
It is a notable tenet of the anonymously written rules of the internet next to Rules 1 and 2 and 34. So yeah, they started busting this out, making a lot of previously male characters female, and then the creation of Peachette, as we currently enjoy it, is credited to this comic strip posted by AK92, so AYYK92 on Twitter, in which both Bowser and Mario are jilted by Peach. Bowser decides to put on the mushroom cap, and then they have a fun time together as Mario and Peachette.
So, but Mario's fucking Bowser there.
Yeah.
Well,
Bowserette.
Peachette.
Bowsette.
Bowsette.
So
But-
people have pointed out that Bowsette is not the correct mishmash of names.
No, it would be Bowseach.
Should be like Powser or Beach.
Yeah.
But whatever, man. Peachette is
Because
cute.
there's no Toadette in there.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the first depiction, as far as I can tell from my internet drilling, of the first depiction of Peachette as we
Yeah.
have her now. A harder, thicker, more dangerous Peach. And I do like being there for the moment that the spark falls on the thirst pile of the internet, because clearly there was a lot of desire for a thick, angry princess.
How is that not a thing already?
I know.
I
It's
thought
a
for
good
sure.
question.
I'm sure there already was female versions of Bowser
Right,
out
there
there.
had to have been.
But there probably wasn't a term for it. It was just an
yeah.
application of that other rule.
Rule 63, yeah.
What I'm curious about is that Bowser himself is also
very well
royalty
drawn.
in
That's
this world.
true.
So now she's like,
And he also rules
King and
over
queen?
a swath of people that don't look like him either.
The Koopa Kingdom.
So
Yeah.
is it an implication that
Goodness gracious.
is it an implication
Swallow out of
that a Koopa, when becoming a monarch, assumes a crown
becomes Bowser?
and becomes a Bowser?
I see what you're
Well,
saying.
Bowser has a child though, so
Yeah.
there was some genetic passing on.
But there's
They all
also
have crowns too.
There's also a baby Peach.
there is a baby Peach.
So wait, hold on.
Shit.
In the Mushroom or the Super Mario universe, crowns indicate that someone changed from one thing
No.
to
well,
another.
hats have power in Mario.
Yeah.
So
I'm
All
just saying.
hats have power.
Some.
Yeah.
Because there's like the metal caps. Odyssey all revolves around
Right.
throwing Cappy on things and taking control of
But
them.
is
Doesn't
that every
Mario's-
hat?
Well, Mario sometimes gets sick if he doesn't have his hat for too long. You like start losing health
Oh.
if he doesn't have his
That's
cap for a really
true.
long time. So does that mean that that's like Mario turning back into whatever the fuck he was before he was Mario?
That's a really good question.
All hats
What
have
was
power.
Mario before?
We don't know.
Wait, are the baby versions of them their children or just like from the past?
That's a good question.
Omar
'Cause
asked
Baby
that-
Mario is Mario from the past.
Yeah.
But appears alongside Mario in non-canonical adventures such as Mario Kart.
Yeah, Omar asked if the baby versions were their kids or
I'm gonna say
Them
it's
from
them
the
from the
past.
past.
You think it's
Whereas
them from the
Bowser
past?
Jr. is Bowser's child.
You
Yeah.
could also present the argument that if they are wearing the crown and they have sex, they can have a child that is born genetically with
It's like
their
a mule,
crown adaptation.
right?
Yeah, like a mule.
Yeah, got it.
So it passes on the
Yeah.
hat powers.
Yeah.
So
Could
it
be.
is.
Interesting.
So the hat
I think one of my
changes
favorite
them
part-
genetically.
What's up, Omar?
Yeah,
The hat changes them genetically, not
But
just
then how can they revert
physically.
back as soon as they pop the hat off?
well,
Or get hurt.
That's magic.
But it's temporarily genetically changes them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
okay.
well, that means it gives you different like genitalia, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think Bowser has genitalia, but in theory,
Oh, he does.
Bowsette would.
I've seen it.
In theory, Bowsette would.
Yeah.
Well, we don't actually know whether or not Bowser has genitalia, right?
No, we have seen it.
He doesn't.
Well,
It's very spiky.
He definitely. Ew.
I mean, I would assume
He's a
it's probably
lizard.
under one of the
Yeah,
things
it's under a
that-
sheath.
What is
Oh.
what is the
One of
term
those
for that?
points.
There's a term for lizard genitalia.
oh,
Do they have one of those things that like comes out like a little runway situation?
It's like a pouch.
Cloaca.
It looks like the
Cloaca?
exhaust pipe. Yeah, there you go.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's like the everything hole. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's a poopy pee hole. Bongo Chongo has an important point in chat here. Could Bowser jerk off, freeze his cum, turn into Bowsette, inseminate him/herself,
Whoa.
then have a child through asexual
I
reproduction?
would say yes.
I think yes.
Why not?
Well, here's the thing, though.
Because then it would be half Bowser, half Peach.
There's also the possibility that it's magic, and then magic applies a universal rule, so that magic trumps science. If
Always.
the hat is
Yeah.
science,
Always.
then it would work that the cum is still the genetic material of the Bowsette, right?
Right.
Or whatever. But if
see.
it's magic, then it would revert,
Wow.
kind of like what's her Cinderella.
So if you put the hat on, and it's magic and not science, then the minute you put the hat on, the cum becomes feminine as well.
Yeah, is it retroactive?
It goes away. Is that what we're saying?
Would your
Or
frozen
disappears.
cum turn into eggs the second you put the hat on?
Yeah.
oh, well, that's a good question too.
What if you jerk off through a portal from Portal?
it could just be sterile.
I'm gonna say, whoa.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that one's close, huh?
That's a
Sorry,
picture
Omar.
of him.
I'm gonna say
Just a little
that.
areola in there.
I'm gonna say that it disappears. I'm gonna say that if you come as Bowser or whoever and put the crown on, the cum disappears.
All
What
right,
does that
well,
have to
let me
do
ask
with
you this.
refractory period? Like you jack off, hat on, hat off, cum's gone. Does it go back into your balls?
No,
or
no,
is it still gone?
No, it just goes away.
Well,
that
okay,
violates
but
the second law of thermodynamics.
if
first.
you get
magic.
if you get some of the cum in your eye and it burns, and then
Chuck a
the
hat
hat
on.
goes off, does the cum's gone, but is your eye still burning?
No.
No.
It's
You
healed.
feel better
It's
immediately.
healed, yeah.
So wait, that means you can come in wherever you want. Just pop the hat on and off, and there's no baby.
Yeah.
But
yes.
it's also, well, that's a good point. But it's also that you could just like come and then instead of having to clean it up, you just chuck a hat on.
Also,
do wherever.
Another
Magic
thing,
is great.
If you come in a woman
Good clarification.
and then put the hat on, if the egg is fertilized, the cum does not disappear, and instead the egg is fertilized. So that's a whole new
Ooh,
life.
that adds a layer of
Well,
problems.
that's what I'm trying to say. That what happens if you impregnate someone and then it fertilizes an egg,
boy.
and then they put the crown back on?
This is going to be a hot
I
election
subscribe to the theory in this religion that it's science-based, and if you put the hat on, the cum still exists.
Okay.
And they-
I'm
Wouldn't
going to
Bowser's-
say magic.
topic. Wouldn't Bowser's dick shoot fireballs anyway?
Probably.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why do we assume that it would change the gender of the thing putting the hat on? Why doesn't it just turn Bowser into a cool, jacked, human-looking Bowser?
Because that's lame.
Is it lame? I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's cool. I'm okay with the Mario universe.
So it doesn't change gender.
Well, Toadette becomes
I mean, what is
basically
gender,
Princess
Bruce?
Toadstool, right?
Okay, so what if
that's a gender?
I was
That's
gonna
a
say-
gender consistency.
As long as they have holes that are complementary in any way, everything's cool.
We need two hats. One that makes you hot and changes your gender, and another that just makes you hot of the same gender.
Because the
so we
hats
can see everything.
in like Odyssey don't change your gender or anything.
Well, they add Mario mustaches to whatever you throw them on.
yeah, but they don't make you
This is why,
masculine or
again,
feminine.
see, I'm going to go back to the magic side of this, because you're right. Those hats do different things, so each hat has different magic.
Yeah.
One may change your gender, one may not change your gender but make you jacked. One may keep you healthy, one may,
But this one has two because it's like it's changing you into Peach and also making you a woman.
Good point.
That's too many rules for one.
I
hat.
think it's got, well, just like runes can be inscribed on different magical weapons, I think that crown has certain runes on it that changes your gender and makes you jacked.
If Mario's
inscriptions.
about to come
Yeah.
and then throws Cappy onto the light bulb to become electricity,
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah.
happens to the cum?
I think it disappears. I think it
Turns
goes
into a
away.
coin.
I think you get shocked. What was that?
Oh, do you think that
Oh,
the
yeah.
light bulb
Hey, that
comes?
animates.
Is that what
Good
the
for
question
her.
is?
Yeah. Well, he's like the embodiment of electricity, right?
Oh boy, if that other
Because he's not even the light bulb.
I see.
He's
Gonna
the
bring
this
energy
podcast
within
to
the
the
light bulb.
Yeah.
That's how he transfers to different light bulbs.
That'd be fun because then, like, if you're about to come, you could just throw your hat on anything and be like, "What is this? Is like peak sensation."
Yeah, that's true.
Just be like, "What does it feel like when a camera's just like having a great time?"
Yeah, you're right.
You just like experiment with everything.
I don't know. I'm fascinated with this because I feel like
Holy fuck.
yeah, that's pretty shiny. Monster girls have been in vogue in anime circles for a while. Your monster Mizumes, your dragon maids. This seems to be riding on the back of that. Plus, I also really like the celebration of a character that's typically demure and powerless being turned into somebody that's physically imposing and like is often depicted as like using Mario as a toy and stuff like that. I don't know. I like it. It's an inversion of more than just the physicality of it.
My favorite thing about this is that this is the second time in a 2-week span that a Nintendo character has been aggressively sexualized.
Yeah.
And they've
Oh, yeah.
tried so
Little
hard to
Toad.
be a family-friendly company that I just imagine everyone in PR and Nintendo America being like, "Why does this keep fucking happening?
Oh, you know
Person
why.
Yeah,
who
you
has
know
to
why.
go explain what's going on the internet to me.
Why is Toad trending? Oh,
I imagine,
shit.
yeah, the
He's
poor
got,
dude.
he's got his
Yeah.
blazer on and a fun little T-shirt, and he's probably playing with some toy.
Yeah.
Like, Mr. Miyamoto.
Someone said Trump's dick looks like Toad.
We got some Twitter analytics for you, Miyamoto.
Is there a character that hasn't been put to? Because obviously Bowsette is the focal point. But
Yeah,
they're doing
there's-
the other characters.
There's been some big ones. Bouette is blowing up.
Oh.
It's-
I saw a chain chomp at.
Yes, there's Chain Chompette,
Did they
there's
all just put,
Thwompette.
did they
There
just
is
put boobs
Thwompette,
on them?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's
Bouette is a little more Victorian, little more thin, waif-like, because she's meant to be a little more like ghostly.
But if it's that crown that changes their gender and makes them jacked,
Isn't there a thing called King Boo?
So there's
Yeah, there is a King
Omar,
Boo.
can you throw it over? There's King Boo. There's also the Boohemoth. I love boos.
Okay, so she's pretty peachy.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of overtly sexual Bouettes unless you consider that sexual. I mean, she's got kind of a tongue thing going on there, but
The fact that they're all behind her implies to me that it is sexual.
she's queen of the boos.
Yeah.
oh really? I just assumed she was queen.
No,
of
I
the
think they
boobs.
like that ass.
Oh, okay, all right.
right.
I didn't
Why are
think
they-
about that at all.
Yeah, maybe she's got a donk back there.
I think so.
But yeah, it's definitely more like Gothic Lolita type. And then yeah, there was a dry bonesette. Let me
Not
look
for
that-
me.
Yeah, trying
Oh, that's cool.
to find a camera to spike into. Yeah, I really like the tattooed like skater version of it. Oh Jesus. Well, yeah, I guess there's Chain Chompette. It's
Cool.
not quite what I was looking for, but got that hat. Yeah.
They didn't
Anyway,
even really put titties on those. They just gave him some hair.
What's happening here?
Be real careful here.
Oh, that's chicken. Yeah. No, we're good. But yeah, it's certainly Bowsette has been the runaway star. But there's been other splinter off cross peaches. But yes, it's great to know that in a given weekend, everyone is very happily and very furiously masturbating all at the same time.
It's like when everybody played Pokemon Go outside that one weekend.
I was gonna be like,
First
how does
came
this
out.
lead to masturbating?
Yeah, outside.
Man. That's a
And then Jinx came up, and everyone's just furiously masturbating outdoors for a week.
only tangentially related, but speaking of Pokemon, it was fun is maybe the wrong word, but there was definitely a point where I could tell a whole generation had just aged up into having like sexual urges because all the characters of Pokemon started flooding every porn website.
Really?
Yeah, and it happened over the span of like 2 years.
do you
I don't think I've ever seen Pokemon porn.
I keep my finger on the pulse.
Oh, hot take.
Hot take.
Well, there's actually a hot take coming up, but yeah, no, all the nurses, all the trainers.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hot.
And then some of the more
I believe-
feminine
I trust him.
Pokemons.
I do too.
I trust Lawrence.
No,
I
I
just
mean
don't
he's
wanna-
obviously a
What's
source.
that-
Well, I
but
was
why?
wondering if it was the Pokemon themselves.
No, there are a few. The motherly ones typically. Yeah.
like a Chansey.
No,
like
no. No, there's like one that looks like she's wearing a Cinderella
Again,
dress.
I've-
One that's just a
Oh,
big
like
ball of
kind of a
gas.
face.
That's
I
God
just-
of War.
I just
That is the
implicitly
only
tr-
Pokemon
I
that I would
implicitly
fuck.
trust Lawrence on these things. I feel like he knows more than I do about
A
this.
Pokemon that's 3 magnets stuck together.
People, as far as I know, people haven't fucked that one.
Probably put that up your butt.
There's a Rule 34 of whatever
Isn't
that
there
is.
that photo? There's a it kind of went viral of like a girl who's sitting on top of a magneton, and they have like a little.
There you go, Alanah
They have a
knows.
nail that comes
Alanah
out the top
already
of her
knows.
head, and you're like, oh, all right, well,
She's way
It's not,
ahead.
it doesn't count as sex if it's a woman doing it.
that's a good point.
They're just doing it for attention.
Yeah. Technically, women can't have sex.
Yeah.
Only men can.
It's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of scientists with a lot of like radar dishes.
Mm-hmm.
They've got their headphones in the ear, trying to find a detection of a female orgasm anywhere. Can't do it.
Can't do
That's
it.
why they invented those hats.
Yeah. maybe if we become women, we can solve this mystery. They still can. But yeah, we'll just leave that. We'll leave that going for the delight of
Please.
of all you guys.
Please do.
And ladies. This Bowsette can be celebrated by the world. But you know what else can be celebrated by the world? Proper bathroom hygiene.
Hey.
That's brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. So Dollar Shave Club, the thing that I always harp on when they run an ad with us is just the value of the starter pack itself. It's $5 for an executive handle. It's metal, feels cool. For the razor packs, you get a starter kit that has one wipe Charlie's in it, which are mint scented ass wipes, which are wonderful. Just perk you up right downstairs where it's all balmy and cracked and sweaty and red and it's just like a desert. No, you want to wash all that away with a wonderful ass wipe. They also come with some body wash and a couple of other products. But it's a great starter kit, especially if you haven't really experimented in the bathroom, not in a Bowsette sort of way, although certainly I'm sure you could use some of their products for that. But moreover, like, I don't know, personally I was just stuck on I'm going to buy the cheapest soap and the cheapest shampoo I can buy and that's it. Because looking good is stupid. And enjoying like nice smelling things is dumb because I'm a dude and we don't do that. The older I get, I'm like, man, that's dumb. Why would I not want to smell something nice when I'm in the shower? Squeeze every last drop out of every minute. And you can do that with Amber Lavender Body Wash from Dollar Shave Club. So you can get that now at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. So that's just $5. After the starter set, they say the products ship at regular price, which means you can get basically a cartridge of razors every month for $9, which is way cheaper than getting them from a store. But once more, that's dollarshaveclub.com/dude for the starter pack, and then refills can ship every month for just $9. So thank you, Dollar Shave Club, for the sponsorship. Once more, dollarshaveclub.com/dude, $5 for starter kit. It is the best combination of bathroom products you'll get at that price. So thank you, Dollar Shave Club. All right, now there's a lot of people who are going to be needing cheap bathroom cleaners because they're out of a job.
Oh.
Yeah, Telltale is fucked up.
That was bad.
Real bad. So I guess real quick, because this kind of bizarrely, I would say bizarrely, hit a lot of people by surprise. But there's been some pretty severe warning signs about Telltale for a while.
They had layoffs last year, November.
Yeah, so here's the beats that I can see that sort of led to this. In February 2017, Lionsgate substantially invests in Telltale. The rumored figure was around $40 million.
Wow.
And as a result of that, Lionsgate CEO John Feltheimer, I'm not sure how to say his name, got on Telltale's board of directors. So this was in the middle of a pretty long stretch of a particular CEO, Kevin Bruner, who a lot of people complained about after the fact in a anonymous Verge article. Get to that in a minute. But in March 2017, so this is the month after Lionsgate investment and a new person on the board, Kevin Bruner was forced out, asked to leave, quietly resigned as CEO, and returned to the co-founder Dan Connors, who was CEO of the company from its founding up to 2015.
So for 2015 to 2017, it sounds like Kevin Bruner was CEO, and then in March, Kevin Bruner stepped down, and Dan Connors came on again.
Yes, came back.
Gotcha.
For a while, because he had left the role before, came back to run it. In September 2017, Telltale hired an ex-Zynga executive, Pete Hawley, Hawley, as new CEO. A month after that, November 2017, they have a 25% cut in workforce, 90 jobs.
Including like PR people, and like it was just like this huge wash of people.
Interesting. And that was all in the same year.
Yes, that was all in 2017. They got a huge inflush of cash.
Yeah.
Right after that, got rid of the current CEO, hired a new CEO from Zynga. For a while, Zynga executives were kind of like vanity hires when Zynga was big, and then Zynga kind of tapered off and got a bad reputation. So this isn't really in that timetable where hiring Pete Hawley would have been like a move. A lot of Zynga executives went to startups that wanted to get acquired. That was a weird thing for a while. So a month after Hawley comes on, they cut a lot of the workforce. March 2018, a Verge expose goes up, basically talking about how bad working conditions are at Telltale. A lot of it is negative things about Kevin Bruner, the CEO that was working before, about the toxicity of the workplace, how Telltale didn't survive or didn't deal with the transition between a small, agile, independent game developer to a huge, sprawling game developer with multiple projects. Didn't really survive that all that well. Bizarrely, honestly, not that I identified with it completely, but I did see things that were kind of similar in the way that Rooster Teeth went from a small independent company and is now huge and has many departments.
That's what you're saying.
But that doesn't mean that Rooster Teeth's gonna shutter tomorrow or anything like that. So 2018, there's a huge expose about how bad things are at Telltale. Oddly enough, this E3, let's see here, they announced a couple of things.
Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah.
I think
The Walking Dead Final
Chapter.
And then there was one other thing. They announced story modes coming to Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
And then they were the Stranger Things game.
Yes.
They announced that with Netflix too. So they had all these great announcements about all their properties. And then, about last week, I think, just poof, a bunch of Telltale people are like, well, I don't have a job anymore. The company's been pared down to 25 roles.
They had, what, 300?
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez.
250 people got laid off.
Just with no severance, no warning.
So weird.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, it seems out of the blue, especially with all those
One of them
announcements.
was a person who got hired the week before, moved to San Francisco for the job, and then got laid off.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's see here. Bruce, it does seem out of the blue, but there's an article that, where was it? There was an article that basically pinned it on like a huge pullout of investment money.
I read that. Yeah.
And people speculate that it was Lionsgate, that Telltale was in the process of developing some product with them. It wasn't developing like they wanted. Lionsgate pulled all their funding, and that was it. They didn't have enough revenue to keep going.
Because it sounds like at E3, they had decided they were going to get that funding and went, all right, we're going to make 4 new games. Here are all the games we're going to make. Which seems
Yeah, it's this variety article
odd.
here.
It seems very odd to do that, to announce a bunch of games but not have the funding. And instead rely on hoping that the funding will arrive.
You know what this kind of sounded like when I was reading about it? It sounded like basically what the North American special effects industry deals with, where there's such a competition against people that will do other things for cheaper. So like, how can a company like Telltale get Netflix to make a Stranger Things game with them and not some sort of mobile company based out of Korea or something like that?
Yeah.
How do they compete? They give them this incredibly good deal for the license with the hope that it will do so well.
100%. So I know people who got laid off last year, and this news doesn't surprise me at all because, working in San Francisco, it's the games industry up there. I had so many friends who worked at Telltale. They I can't like verify this, but I've been told by firsthand sources that they were spending so much money on acquiring licenses that they didn't have. Basically, they didn't have the financial backing to actually deal with those. They just kept rushing things out, like, let's pay for this license to get people, like, people care about Stranger Things. They're 2 years too late on that anyway. But they just kept doing things that way, and that's why their workplace was incredibly toxic, because it was hiring people for a project, shipping the thing, firing them immediately so they didn't have to give them any salaries in the downtime. It also was just like, the complaints about management are largely, someone would come in halfway through a season and be like, reanimate this, rewrite this, change this character, change the ending, but they don't hire any new people to do that. So they're just creating all of this work for people that is too much for any human to do. So they just basically had all these people who were constantly in crunch, who were constantly burned out, who weren't ever treated like they were going to be paid or like they were going to have any long-term projects, because they weren't. They were just going to fire them as soon as they got their return and then hire on new contractors and just keep going like that. They never could have survived. There's no way it was going to pay off.
Well, it's what you said, where you're like, they got a good deal on a game, like Netflix got a good deal from Telltale to make a game. The good deal's on the backs of those employees.
Absolutely.
The good deal's on the backs of the fact that they paid them probably way under market to make
Like
a
a
video
lot of them
game.
were contractors.
Remember when Life of Pi, Rhythm and Hughes, the special effects studio, won for Life of Pi, best special effects, and the owners of the company were accepting the awards at the Academy Awards while half the company was being laid off?
Yeah.
It's like, you're just a worthless cog in the machine to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what you just said about how like they hire because this is very common actually in a lot of companies that I have seen, and maybe even in some cases been at, where they'll hire a bunch of contractors and they'll be like, just stay on for about a year and we'll full-time you. And then
Yes.
they stay on for a year, that year rolls around and they'll go, you know what, we can't full-time you, we're sorry. And they fire them, and then they don't fire them, their contract is up. And then they basically just hire a whole other round of contractors to do exactly the same thing. You never get any loyalty in a company like
happened
that.
to me.
They were just doing
Yeah,
it
no, it happened
on
to
a
me.
Yeah.
case or on a project by project basis at Telltale. So it was like, you work on this game and then you're fired. And they just kept doing it like that over and over and over again.
I've heard that is the games industry in general, though.
I think it's very common, and crunch is, I think it's like 3/4 of game devs say that they've experienced crunch, but Telltale, it was a constant state of crunch. So people who work there are like, it wasn't just crunch before release, it was literally constantly, like they never had time off. And one of the tweets that like hit me really hard after this was a person who said, I was working 100 hours a week and taking time away from my family and putting all this effort in. I still fucking got laid off. I didn't get any money. Like they were all just putting so much time into making these games because they were trying to release these episodes as quickly as they possibly could with as many projects as they could. They still all got fired. They didn't get anything for it.
It's unfortunate because you only get into this situation if you're passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
Like the executives and business people who create these situations, they don't really care all that much about the games that are being
Yeah.
shipped. They like the numbers
Which
that
is
the
weird
games can
because
make.
so many people who work at Telltale talk about upper management and those execs coming in and being like, change this. Like they tell people to change things creatively. They don't understand how it has both of those problems. Like how do you have a company that clearly doesn't care about employees and wants to make as much money as possible, but will also piss off all of those employees by being like, change this right now. And everyone's like, fuck, okay.
Is it a note that they got from the licensee who's threatening to pull
be.
funding unless they make these exact changes? Like, is
Yeah.
it I'd be curious if they are good notes or if they are just notes that they have received from the people that they have sold their souls to.
And they
One of
aren't
the
arguing
articles
them.
did touch on that briefly. So the Verge article that came out last March was largely talking about. I can't see my cursor. Where are you? There you are.
Oh yeah, that's a tweet I was
So yeah, that's that one. But this lays a lot of that particular meddling at the feet of the interim. He was there for a while. Kevin Bruner, who was a programmer and then stepped up in the role of CEO. It's just down there. It's just words, but essentially talked about how he had this weird relationship with credit and creative ownership. So he would come in, like, ask for a few changes to be made, and then bail out because people described him as wanting to be a creative auteur, basically, like a Kojima type, where you can just whirl in and like make all these whirlwind changes that are all like credited to his genius. They talked about how he would like mandate himself be in every interview with other people. So like when somebody shipped an episode or a project or something like that, they'd want to interview the director of that, but then he would just kind of cram himself in there
like
too.
an ego problem.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him. This is just based secondhand on what people said anonymously because they were still working there when they said these things.
Well, I mean, the game that really they had games before that, like Jurassic Park, but the game that really like rose them out of just being an indie darling was The Walking Dead. And The Walking Dead, most of the creative backbone was like people like Sean Vanneman, who left after the first season. As soon as that happens, you know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like if they make something that's incredible and then the high profile talent is like, fuck this, and he works at Valve now, is like, yeah, I get that. Even then we should have been like, there's a problem here creatively, something is going wrong. Like I know even that production, like people who worked on the first season of that were like, yeah, we would have had this be different. Like it just someone came in halfway through the season and told us to change everything, and that happens with most of the seasons, it sounds like. And
Was that dude the same as the guy who didn't let them change engines that you were just talking about?
Sean Vanneman?
Was because there was a dude that like the
Maybe
CEO or whatever
Gardner.
created the engine that the games were based on, and that shit was broken for a long time, and
They only
weren't
changed it
allowed.
with Batman Season 1. Like that was the first engine update they'd had.
So garbage.
Yeah.
It was trash. I didn't understand how you can play Uncharted, which has the exact same background, like decision making, like quick time events shit, and like you'd play Game of Thrones, and it'd be like running around a corner, and then it'd tell you to press X if you want to go that way, or O if you want to go that way, and you press X and you go, and then go, and like, how's that difficult? Like,
Yeah.
It was apparently a byproduct of the ridiculous release structure that the company tried to hold itself to.
Yeah, the engines are hard to make, and it's like if you don't have time to remake it, they're like, don't remake it, just keep fucking making money. Just keep pushing them out.
Which is interesting too, because maybe I could be wrong, but it felt like the Telltale release schedule was slow, which sounds hilarious to me now that I think about this. But I'm like, I was always like, I wonder what's taking them so long. And maybe they just didn't have enough staff. That may have been it.
The community would complain. They'd be like,
They had, like,
why
3
don't we have
series
the
going at
release date
once,
for...
too.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
true,
And
too.
you just
Yeah.
don't
We had
realize it.
Borderlands
Yeah.
and Walking Dead, and then
Wolf
they
Among
picked
Us
up
was all at the
Batman.
same time as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
And
good
then
point.
Guardians, and
Yeah,
they had a lot of
Guardians.
stuff going at once, but community like often complained. They'd be like, why don't we have a release date for this episode yet? And it was always just that they didn't have one until it was done. Like I reviewed season 1 of Batman, and it sucked to review. Like obviously it didn't suck for me as much as it would suck for everyone working on it, but we'd get a code at 7 p.m. on Friday every time, and then I'd have to like play it, review it over the weekend, capture the footage over the weekend, and then have it up on Monday. And that cycle is just because they weren't fucking done until 7 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
And they were like, here's your code. And I'd just be sitting there like, do you guys have an update? And they'd be like, probably a couple of hours. You're like, how do you
'Cause they were
not
actually
know how to
coding
do
it.
this?
They were
Yeah,
finishing the
like,
game.
still straight up till the end. It wasn't planned at all. They were just like, we need to finish this fucking thing. And they still came out broken every time.
Man, wild.
That's so sad.
It is.
Because,
really
I
is.
mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I know that individually we've probably all been in positions where, due to our youth and excitement over a particular subject matter, we've worked far longer and harder and unpaid hours and all this stuff just to get an opportunity. So I can empathize thoroughly with being taken advantage of in that regard. As a result, Game Workers Unite put out a pretty stiff statement on it. I'll read a brief excerpt, but there it is. They say, hundreds of workers are being denied pay and health care without notice or severance, left vulnerable in an area with an extremely high cost of living. Some of those workers were just recently hired. Let us be clear. The executives at Telltale are incompetent. They are exploitative. They knew that this was coming and failed to warn anybody. We know that the management disregards their workers. There's a brief bit further down that I really appreciated. They write, to Telltale's fans and players, learn to see the difference between the companies and the workers who make the games. See through the lies created by upper management and know that the workers are being exploited and disregarded. We are as upset about our games being canceled as you are. Direct your anger at the executives grinding our medium into the ground for profit.
Wow.
Yeah, because there are people who were bummed out about Walking Dead not getting finished.
I think bummed out is a nice way of putting it. People are furious.
Some people are furious. I try to shy away from characterizing an entire group by
Sure.
the loudest people.
Yeah.
Some people are sociopathically angry, like asking the developers to come in and finish it for free because they should love Walking Dead that much. Like, okay, you fuck off forever. But
People did also pay season passes.
That's true.
Don't
Yeah.
buy season
Don't buy
passes.
season passes.
Yeah.
But
For
I
one,
think like
yeah.
I also get why those people are angry because they paid for a product that they don't have now. But I think like we should be caring more about making sure those devs get their severance packages than that the season is finished. Like you pay those people first and then you finish the game. Don't do it the other way around.
Yeah.
These companies are banking on the fact that most people just play games and don't care. I mean, we're obviously way more within the circle of this than the average player of the Walking Dead game
Yeah.
is, right?
I wonder if some of them probably don't even know about the closure.
Well, and I think a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
they
people,
probably just think the game they're not getting they paid for something and they're not getting it. And
Yeah.
now they're pissed
Absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely.
Which is I think is an understandable reaction from a consumer
too.
standpoint.
Yeah.
I think once you know the story behind it, maybe you should, I don't know, reach out to Steve. I don't know, you sue. I don't know, whatever you got to do, right? Like I'm
Sounds
sure
like
there's
someone is.
some sort of
there's-
fine print that says you paid for the season pass, but we may not release anything.
Yeah.
'cause-
So there is a class action lawsuit on behalf of the workers that's already been filed. So this was posted by Polygon this morning. The complaint filed Monday in a federal court in San Francisco is a class action lawsuit submitted by Vernie Roberts on behalf of himself and his fellow laid-off workers. In the complaint, Roberts says Telltale, which is based in the San Francisco suburb of San Rafael, California, let go of the employees without cause and without providing them with advance written notice as required by the WARN Act. Goes on to explain the Federal Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act, which became law in 1988, stipulates that most businesses with at least 100 full-time workers must notify employees 60 days in advance of planning plant closings or mass layoffs.
Really?
The act defines a mass layoff as a reduction of 50 or more employees within a 30-day period.
Wow.
If the total comprises at least 1/3 of the company's workforce, or any layoff of 500 or more workers. California's state-level version of the WARN Act, which took effect in 2003, has more stringent requirements for businesses, lowers the company size threshold to 75 full or part-time workers, and applies to any reduction of at least 50 employees. Both the state and federal laws require advance notice of 60 days.
This
Wow.
is interesting. This is an interesting thing because, like, a lot of the articles I was reading is like, oh, the managers are incompetent, the managers are exploitative, the stuff that we just read. And to me, that was kind of all speculation. I'm not saying that that's. I'm basically like I'm waiting to hear what actual evidence is. This is actual evidence that they are
They
incompetent.
violated the
Yeah.
law. Yeah.
Legal.
because they didn't look. If they had gone and been like, oh, well, we have to give these people 60 days notice if we're closing the entire, if we're closing Telltale.
But do
I mean-
layoffs work that way? Like, are you like, all right, probably in about 60 days, we're going to need to shut down?
Yeah, I mean,
You can say, like,
That's-
if we don't get funding in 60 days, it's going to be bad.
if you,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing.
They should have known
Unless
that.
you're incompetent. If you're not incompetent, you would say that, right? Because
Yeah.
we're working on funding, but we're letting you guys know. But if you have no money left in the bank, and then the money gets pulled out too,
Yeah.
and you have nothing, it doesn't matter if they say they can't pay you. We can't pay any of you. So, what do you want us to do?
But see, they have access to those bank accounts. They can see the bank account going
Yeah.
all
No,
you
yeah,
know, like
'cause
way,
they're
way down
incompetent.
because they're incompetent, right? And if they had just been like, we don't have any money, and we're not going to have like, I guarantee there was an accountant somewhere at this company that was like, in 1 year there will be no money left,
Yeah.
and we're not going to be able to pay our employees if something doesn't come through. I promise
Maybe.
you.
Yeah.
It may also be
And they
that
were just
Lionsgate
hopeful.
breached a contract. Like,
They
they
may
had
be,
a
yeah.
funding agreement with Lionsgate. Lionsgate was just like, nah. And then Tales like, we have a contract. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Sue us with your no money? See you in court, asshole.
Well, that's the same thing with this. Like, how are they going to, even if they have a class action lawsuit, how the fuck do they pay them if they don't have any money?
Put a lien on stuff?
I just don't know how this stuff works.
I've talked to a bunch of
Yeah.
different people that have run
Sell the
different
studio.
companies, and they always say, they have said this sentence to me, which is like, if we don't get funding, the company's going to close.
Yeah.
Like that's just what's going to happen. And they're like, we've told people that, so if they want to stick around, they can, and if not, too bad.
True.
But we just don't know. And then they'll get funding and be like, oh, we're around for another year.
Yeah.
I've heard this numerous times from lots of different companies.
Yeah.
And so
They should have done that.
So they should at least should have. Was it 300 people? Should have told the 300 people, well, we may not be able to pay you in 3 months.
I feel like, again, it's all part of the deception, though, too. Because if they're going to Netflix
Yeah.
and they're trying to pick up big Netflix properties and go to these big companies and say, hey, Marvel, Disney, give us Guardians.
yeah.
You have to make it seem like you're the shit.
Right.
And if you come up in a wheelbarrow,
Absolutely, yeah.
like they're gonna go, get the fuck out of here. Like what are you talking about? No, you're not even gonna finish our game. Why would we? You don't have enough money.
No. Okay.
So you have to present everything.
You're
And
right.
if they told their whole company that they might be running out of money, that's gonna get out.
It'll spread, yeah.
And then they go into Netflix and they go, well, we heard you didn't have any money. So one, now we can lowball you in this offer, which they probably already did.
Yeah.
And two, you may not deliver anything to us. So why should we work with you?
I mean, James is absolutely right.
That's not an excuse,
I
by
was
the
gonna
way.
say it sucks to be in that
It
position.
explains it.
And I'm not trying to like sympathize with the management, but it sucks to be in that position because you're right.
Yeah.
And fact of the matter is, one's illegal to not warn your employees, right? And and the other one is absolutely. If you go to Netflix and be like, please,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, fuck you.
But to Lawrence's point, I think it's also a kind of shitty pay it forward. So if Lionsgate came in and was like, nah, we're out, and they go, but we have this contract, please, and they're like, no, we don't want to, and then they go to their employees and they're like, well, let's just tell them they're out. And then the employees will go, but shouldn't you have to pay us? What about the WARN Act? And they're like, we ain't got nothing. What are you gonna do? Sue us? You know.
That's true. I think that if I feel like, how long is this? Was it maybe 4 or 5 days this story's been out?
Yeah, about a week, I think.
About a week?
I'm trying to remember.
I feel like at
whenever.
some point somebody would have come out and been like, Lionsgate was in breach of contract. That's the reason we had to shut down.
Well,
What do you gain from that?
I think also the problem with this sometimes too is that the people that are at the top don't get punished for any of
Yeah.
this shit.
Right.
The CEO is probably going to keep his giant house.
And that's the thing,
in,
yeah, he'll
in
burn
San
his-
Rafael.
He'd burn his CEO cred if he went out with that info. Like, he's probably out clean.
Yeah.
Clean-ish.
Well, you're right, because we'll just move on to another company.
And
be
also, I guarantee you, for as shitty as the rest of the accounting was, the accounting to protect him and all of the executives at their level, protect their finances and separate the business from where they are.
Absolutely.
That's probably on point.
I am
I
sure it
guarantee
is.
you.
Also
Certainly.
thinking, like, based on everything we've heard about Telltale, that this isn't just an ego externally for business deals. It sounds like an internal ego, like the kind of person who would not be willing to be like, hey, we're struggling. Like, he's like, we're doing fucking great. How fucking dare you question that? Like, I don't think
The
that...
new CEO they brought in,
Dan Connors?
no, that's
Oh, the
so
other
that's
guy.
the old guy.
Holly,
that
one.
The
Yeah.
Zynga
Holly.
guy.
Yeah.
He actually seems to be, like, a lot of internal reports said that things were improving under his, like, he didn't interfere as much, didn't micromanage as much. Clearly didn't have much of an eye for the long term, though.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe at
Depending
that
what you
point
wanna
there's
read into
nothing
it.
you can do.
But I don't know. I feel like the aggressive announcement of projects at E3, given the state that company was in, also implies a lot of, like, desperation. Now, in retrospect,
Well, that's like a notice us, notice us, notice us.
exactly. Like,
We're
we're doing
successful.
fine. We're doing fine. Please,
Exactly.
please, don't play your money.
Well, it's so because I was saying before with the accounting, I guarantee somebody knew that in 1 year, if like usually companies don't rely on one contract.
Yeah, and
if
in
one
months and
contract
months.
doesn't go through, the entire company's going down. That's very rare.
And having no runway either.
like-
Except in special effects.
I was going to say, and except for this specific instance, and that's another good instance is special effects because Telltale had so much momentum. They had built up into this like big game studio that's like putting out these really big games that are very high profile, and so unfortunately they had to be like, yeah, we're huge, we're doing just fine, and we're going to get this $40 million contract from Lionsgate. Everything's great, and
They weren't AAA. Like,
No,
they were
they
still
weren't.
technically indie, self-published. Like,
It's tough too because I think there's a bigger story about the people, the workers too, like how you get in this position. Same with special effects. It's these people who have these technical trades, these skilled technical trades that want to work in an industry that makes them passionate about the things that they do, right? They don't want to take their programming skills and then build some sort of program in a place
for
that they don't
Amazon.
care. Whatever, yeah, right. So, but they want to go somewhere where their interests lie, and they're desperate to get there, and they also have to probably go to college to get the qualifications to be considered for these jobs,
they're
which
in
means
debt.
they're already in debt, which means they're already in a bad situation. But they got this job, so we'll get it from there. It's tough because then there's a churn.
Yeah.
There's always two people, 3, 4, 5 people waiting to take the job. So if you're like, this is not fair, I don't want to work every single weekend, they'll say goodbye.
we just hired a
That's-
19-year-old.
Yeah.
that's so much of the games industry, though. It's just like, well, if you don't like it, this person wants to make games for a living, so fuck off. And they
Yeah.
just like, they do that a lot, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I've talked to people that have said exactly that sentence, not ironically to me, where they're just like, we'll just hire somebody that will get paid nothing and totally work harder than the person we have now. And I'm always like, for me, that is a come to Jesus moment when I've talked to people like that, where I'm
Yeah.
like, got it. All right,
Yeah.
now I know where you stand.
Yeah.
And now I know the way that you manage.
Yeah.
So for me, it scares me because then you're not going to get any loyalty at all, ever.
I-
No one will ever be loyal to that company because they'll be here for a year or two, be upset when they left, and then they'll hire somebody new who's excited. But that other person's eventually karma. It's all going to come back around.
And
It
it
always comes
also
back.
spreads, like, when companies treat people that way, the people who leave pass it on. They're like, don't work there.
Yeah.
And it just like gets out
That's
faster
the karma.
and faster.
That's
Yeah.
the karma.
And that's why Ubisoft doesn't make any more games.
No more.
Mario
They
and
don't have
Rabbids.
one coming out next week.
Oh, wait.
They made that weird VR game. Did that come out?
They literally have Assassin's Creed coming out
Memories
next
or
week.
whatever? Nah, they had that weird indie game. Where you're
Oh,
like,
yeah. The one
you're
that
in
was
somebody's
like,
brain.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Transference.
Oh,
Is
the
it
Elijah Wood game?
UbiArt?
Is it you?
Yeah, it was you. It was
Ubisoft
UbiArt,
doesn't
right?
exist anymore.
No, because
Transference is
They tried.
is the Elijah Wood one,
Oh, okay.
which is Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
is.
came out to like promote his like weird little art studio and
Yeah,
at
he
E3.
was trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
like combine movies and film
Crew
in a
2.
revolutionary way, and it doesn't.
Crew 2, yeah.
I
But
just,
Assassin's
I
Creed
just
coming out next
think
week.
that as these companies, and this is not a take to the streets type of thing. I'm not telling you to
Rise up, gamers.
Yeah, Occupy Wall Street. That did a lot of good. But I'm just saying this is something you should consider as an individual going into a world filled with conglomerates. They don't need you. So, earn your keep while figuring out what your next thing is.
What your next move is.
Yeah.
You have to determine your own value because they're not going to figure it out for you. And if they do, they're going to lie to you about what it is.
Yeah.
That's also the same for just people who are literally gamers. Like, people get mad about EA not making the games that they want. EA doesn't care about gamers. EA's real customers is the stock market. That's it. Like, everything they do is for the stock market. That's how they make all of their money. Like, and people were mad about their E3 press conference, but on the stock market, the stocks rose.
Yeah.
It's like they don't care about you at all. Like, even then they don't care. They're not like, listen to what the gamers want about Mass Effect. They're like, what does the stock market want from Mass Effect?
Yeah.
That's it. They don't fucking care.
Well, and even like
money for nothing.
the gamers aren't the people who just wander into Walmart and buy a game.
No, they're not.
Like without any information. And
No, they're not.
when you get to be that size, the enthusiast market is nice, and in a way, they're kind of an early warning system for what the mass market will do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. So if like FIFA Club is breaking in billions of dollars a
Make it
year,
$590 a year or whatever it is.
the incentive, like one angry dude on a forum, is not going to push against that weight.
I don't think they care at all.
That's what's like I mean, I always say this, but that's what's amazing about certain companies that exist when they're able to satisfy, like Sony is a good example of when they released the PS4. They were able to satisfy the early adopters and then also the mass market. That's so hard to do.
Yeah.
It's literally almost impossible to do. And it's one of the reasons why Sony is one of the biggest corporations in the world. It's because they're smart. They know how to satisfy both audiences, and they did it in the right way.
Yeah.
And Telltale, I think it's probably an easy thing to say. Business is hard, and so when Telltale was started this business and was like, holy shit, we're getting really big.
Yeah.
It's really really hard to continue that growth.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Omar, can you throw our good lady Bowsette back up on the screen, please? I'm getting a little lonely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there
Really
were
lifted my mood.
in the Verge article from March this year. It's funny because alluded to this a little earlier, but they reference certain growing pains about changing from a small studio to a huge one, namely like communication issues of like refusal to write things down or document anything communally because you're just used to kind of talking to people about it. I have had some instances of Rooster Teeth like that where people are just used to just going off the cuff and talking with
Or
each other.
growing.
But then you get on a project with like 10 members and they're all kind of saying this weird game of telephone to get everyone on the same page. Sometimes ticketing systems are useful and needed, and it seems very cold and sterile. But yeah, there's certain things that struck a chord of like, yeah, you kind of have to change the way you do things once a number, like once you get a mass of people, you're not allowed to just hang out in a room and drink beer and just do whatever anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just noticing that we have a box of tissues here on the table.
Yeah.
Is that for Bowsette?
It is now. Primarily it was for my nose,
Okay.
but the
You both at once.
pseudoephedrine I took is starting to kick in, so I'm feeling groovy.
There's a lot of Bowsette giving the middle finger.
She's angry,
Yeah,
man.
she's angry. That's what Bowser is.
Yes.
But Bowser doesn't give the middle finger.
He's rebellious.
Yeah, but it's because his hands don't let him. Don't be ableist. All right.
Don't be able.
It's a sexy but still aggressive posture.
a real
for-
human.
Yeah, there's some Bowsette cosplay. That was the most work appropriate photo from that set. So. A lot of garters. God bless garter belts. Anyway, speaking of Bowsette, if this isn't working for you, you might want to look into Hims, who is sponsoring this podcast. So Hims is a telemedicine service that offers products for men, namely in the form of hair loss prevention or erectile dysfunction. Now, before I get into it, a bit of a disclaimer that I like to make, considering that a lot of the members of our audience have had issues with the way Hims is presented. None of us here would recommend that you circumvent your doctor or any other norms of healthcare to abuse any kind of medication. If you have an issue with erectile dysfunction or with hair loss, then look into this product, but certainly don't pursue it if you don't need this medication or not experiencing any of these symptoms. And even if you are, you should certainly do what makes you the most comfortable and most healthy. And a lot of the times that is having a referral with your doctor that you already have a relationship with. Not a lot of us have that in America, but if you do, certainly check with them, consult with them, heed their advice. And if they recommend the service to you or even prescribe the relative medications themselves, you can then transfer that to HIMSS and have that filled online without having to go to the pharmacy. That said, so HIMSS provides a telemedicine service to diagnose erectile dysfunction. Essentially, if you go on the website, you fill out a little questionnaire. It asks you some basic questions about your health, the symptoms you've been experiencing. It makes you swear to a couple of things, namely having your blood pressure taken in the last month and having an in-person visit with your doctor in the last year. I tried to sign up for it just to see if I could. Pretty much bombed out at those places because I even kind of lied and just ticked the things and went through. And even then, I didn't get a prescription because Peachhead is all I need in my life. But if you need a little more, HIMSS will connect you with real doctors who can issue real prescriptions, precisely for a generic version of a drug that starts with V that just went generic. So it's a lot more affordable now. But yes, you can talk to a real doctor. They will field any questions you have. They'll make sure that your prescription is healthy and that you respond to it well. And they say it's hard made easy. Say hello to your little friend. You can try HIMSS for a month today. What's that?
I said little.
Yeah. Well, not for long.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I can try HIMSS for a month for just $5. Get you started for $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. That's at forhims.com/soup. That's FORHIMS.com/soup. Thank you, HIMSS, for the sponsorship. And it gives a new meaning to dude soup. I was always there, though.
Gross.
But yes, if BOWSETTE is ready to go, will you be ready? I like all those. I am a huge fan of ads for erectile dysfunction that I pretty much only see if I'm in a bar and they're showing like a baseball game, because that's only for old dudes. But typically the implication is that the one time every 3 months your wife of 40 years actually wants to have sex with you, you better be there and ready to go. So it's like just always have like a little pill or a little case. You just
Carry it around in
go
your
for
wallet.
it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like a flask.
if she makes eye contact with you, yeah, you're just like, it's time.
Splashed it all over.
It's fine.
Sorry, did I get it on you?
No, not at all.
All right, we got a real whopper. So we've just had fun topics like people losing their entire livelihoods.
That was fun.
But now we got something that's really hot. Hit that hot topic. We got a hot one.
I think I know what this is. I read this last night.
Yeah. Yes.
I love this story.
You always cut it off early, Omar. What is it? Is it annoying? Is it annoying to you?
That was peak.
You don't like it? All right. So there was a. Okay. So this one is. I'm trying to decide how flippant to be because I'm sure someone is already bashing out. It's not about that.
It's on the order of the
It's
battlefield.
totally about
It's on
that.
the order of the
Total War
battlefield.
one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So in Total War, sorry, we gotta. Ooh, yeah, appreciate
She was
that.
up earlier.
See,
I
there's
know.
tiny little Mario though. See, it's
Sure
like
that's not a vagina? I guess it's just a... Okay,
I'll
well,
leave with that one.
that's fair trade.
Can you throw us back to away
going
from
on with her
Peachette for a little
hands?
bit? She's doing that. It's cute.
Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Just like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, you should work on that. When you do it, it's not cute.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I even pointed. That was the most rude thing. So there was this. Oh boy. I try to be generous, but it's really hard to find any angle on this that isn't dudes being mad about women intruding into their playhouse. So, Total War got review bombed on Steam because some very conspiratorial people assumed that the game was changing the rate at which women were generated to be generals that you could recruit into your army.
Like, yeah, there are too many women generals in the game.
Yeah,
Was the complaint?
a handful of Steam forum posts, which players claimed the recent updates had increased the frequency with which women generals showed up as candidates in their armies. One went so far to insist that, quote, over 50% of their generals were women, and offered a screenshot as proof. Here you are with these just women just there. God damn it.
How is that
That's
proof
100%.
of percentage?
Because it's just screenshot.
So there's a lot, so that's the percentage?
Yeah, it seems to be. People perceived more women showing up after patches.
Okay.
So then this got turned, like it went through the angry man YouTube of people saying that, like, so, and sadly what didn't help but should have solved the problem is that I think the community manager posted a really well-reasoned article.
It was. I read it, and it was really well reasoned.
Yeah. So just to kind of summarize it, Total War games are historically authentic, not historically accurate. If having female units upsets you that much, then you can either mod them out or just not play. People saying they won't buy the game because there are too many women in it is fine with us. If that's their reason, we'd rather they didn't play anyway. Naturally, this gets taken and turned into the developers don't want you to play their game. Like, they just take the one half of it.
Well, I think...
The developers are calling you sexist. They don't want your garbage sexist.
Because I always try and think of
Sexist
people as individuals, that they perceive that as an attack
Yes.
on
Yeah,
them,
absolutely.
even though it was a defense of the game.
And it's a very
Right.
conditional if.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play this game because you see a woman, you can do that, but we don't really want you around here because that's a weird reaction to have. It's kind of what it goes down to, but people lose all the qualifications.
I also like the distinction between historically authentic and
Historically
historically
accurate.
accurate.
Yeah,
Because
Battlefield
to be
5 is
historically
kind of down that line,
accurate,
too.
every battle would have to end the exact same way
Right.
with the same thing be unfolding, and you wouldn't technically be able to control it. Otherwise, it would no longer be accurate. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a YouTube video, Creative Assembly don't want you to play their games. Little SIC in brackets there. One Angry Gamer, of course, Daily Stormer got in on the action because boy, that's a great narrative. So then the problem is somebody actually tested it. Somebody tested the game. They found that generation rates were 65% male, 35% female, which means birth rates were even skewed male. But even with that, people thought there were too many women.
Well, that's just survival rates, I assume.
No. It's like generation rates in the game.
No, I'm joking. The ones that survive into adulthood, not dashed upon the rocks, because it is historically authentic.
So because it and I kind of saw this developing, and I was like, are we really doing this again? Because people would argue, people have linked a couple of things in that in the past, game communities have successfully fueled anger about certain topics and forced a response in some kind of way. So now people have stated that that is only empowering to the people who drive these sorts of things, the people who can actually organize and put out a narrative that is destructive, whatever. Anyway, they issued a response. They just tweeted, yo, and then a big image.
That's not historically authentic. I want him to say, hear ye.
They basically say there have been no changes to the recruitable female general spawn rates, but with the addition of the family tree feature and the new gameplay options it brings, playable factions may gain more female family members via marriage. Basically just breaking all of this down. In the end, we have no plans to patch this out or remove this feature from the game. Basically just saying you guys are nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Is it just that because they added this gameplay feature of marriage before they never had to deal with the fact that women were a necessity in this
Maybe.
world? And now, obviously, through marriage, you need at least one to marry in, and now people are seeing more.
It could be, yeah, they're
It
forced
sounds
to
like
acknowledge
it. Like you could have male family members just be male family members, but now there's benefits to being married, so women are joining the family
Gross.
that they didn't.
Well, also,
necessarily want.
I guess at the very worst for that group, maybe they just decided we're going to make some female generals. They're they say 10 and 15% chance of appearing as recruitable generals. Maybe they're just like, yeah, you know what? Why not? It's the same with Battlefield. There were women generals, very, very few.
Yeah, I was
there
going
were
to say, are
women
there
generals in the
people
past.
upset that they are generals? Would they be okay if they were in the game, but they were raising the babies?
Maybe.
Probably.
The undercurrent of it all is that a lot of people suspect that there is a conscious and even orchestrated attempt to guide the path of pop culture to be more inclusive.
Okay.
And that guidance is an unwanted effect upon the media that certain groups have enjoyed in its current state for a long time.
Well, even if that's true, I guess they're basically saying they don't want their perspective changed on things that are historical. And that's
I don't think it's even
that's the
that.
easiest thing to pick, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
it totally is.
It's the easiest blast shield to hide behind.
Well, I don't imagine they care about that. I don't imagine they actually care that there are women in the game. It's that they're angry about the idea that there is an agenda being pushed on them.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Well,
Which
right.
they don't even actually care that it's not accurate. They just don't like the idea that get politics in my video game.
Well, that's harder to admit, I think.
Sure.
And that's what makes
But I
the
guess that's
statement
the
of
truth.
Well,
when
we
they
don't-
say if you don't like it, you cannot play our game, that only fuels the agenda theory
Right.
that we are making a statement by doing this.
because I don't align
This
with you
game isn't
politically, you
for
don't want
you.
me.
Yeah.
So for me,
Because of
I'm,
its agenda.
I'm always not trying to, I don't want to speculate. It's more of the,
Yeah.
okay, well, if they are upset that it is not historically accurate, then for me, the immediate argument of historically authentic, that negates anything they say. At that point, I'm fine, whatever. Because, again, for lack of a better, I guess, phrase, when you're playing a video game, it's not historically accurate because it would have to play out exactly the same way in the way that history played out, or the way we know history played out, which it may not have played out that way. But that's not the way video games work. So for me, again, if it's historically authentic, that's okay. That's all right if they're like, occasionally if somebody's like, you know what? I think it'd be cool if you could play as a woman in World War II. Fine, no big deal. That's an artistic choice that they made and that doesn't bother me. That's whatever. It may bother other people, and I guess Total War's community manager said, hey, if it bothers you, don't play the game. Okay, easy enough.
It's so weird to think
Or mod it.
that like
We're giving you the tools to take these women out.
It's so weird to think that people would assume that any sort of commercial media is built in a vacuum
Yeah.
without bias, meant to like perfectly encapsulate whatever the goal of that thing is. It's
So-
just weird.
So you're driving down an interesting thought path that, in my opinion, is that the media, games especially, they've never been in a bubble, they've never been perfect, but they have been targeted towards men. So men, I think, have enjoyed being the sole target for all of this for a long time. And things like this are starting to remind them that maybe other people play Total War. And that's like a disquieting
You
thought.
start feeling less special.
Yes, you feel like the spotlight isn't on you anymore. When I graduated out of college, I was like,
other people
not young and
that
cool
like your
anymore.
shit that you could bang. I don't understand.
That's what's so weird to me. It's exactly the opposite. It's always been the opposite for me. When I found out a girl liked comic books, I was always like, you like comics? And then we would talk about comics. I'd be like, holy shit, this is so cool, and she's super hot. Like, well, maybe I can find out if we can date, you know? Like, that was the thing that I was always thinking. And we could talk about comics. I got things in common, and I want to date her. Like, to me, that's the same thing here, where you're like,
I think there's another level to this, and I'm not trying to psychoanalyze anyone with this issue, but if you do ask her if she wants to go out on a date and she says no, no longer is your excuse
I see.
that it's because you have no common interests.
Sure.
Your excuse
Yeah,
is now
I've heard that a
because
lot.
she doesn't like you, the individual, and has no interest in you. And
That's
that's
harder to deal
harder
with.
to come to terms with
Totally.
than
Yeah.
to say, well, I like video games and she likes whatever girls like.
Yeah.
I think you can, because yeah, that is I would guess a pretty. I don't want to speak for the whole group that may have been
no.
But yeah, I think that is a big part of it. At least it has been personally for me, to make it more abstract in terms of like feeling like you're not special anymore. I think it's more like maybe there's a sandwich shop you go to and there's a sandwich you really, really like. And maybe it's like it's the exact amount of salt you like or whatever. And you go in and it's different and you say why, and they're like, well, not a lot of people like this sandwich. So we decided to mix it up a little bit, see if more people like it. And you look around and everyone's loving this new sandwich, and you're like, but I liked it the way it was before, when it was about me, and I liked it.
But what if the sandwich shop was like, but we have the other version of the sandwich right here.
Slap
you
it out
just
of their
need
hand.
to take the salt off yourself.
Fuck off. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it is. So I think it is, it's
Mod the sandwich.
In a weird way, it's the idea of like zero-sum marketing. And I wish that, as much as I wish a lot of dudes could admit that they're frustrated about not getting a partner.
It's not just dudes too. I
It's
think
not,
it's
it's not.
it's a human condition.
Well, I was going to say, like, I don't want to speculate on any of those people, like, because
don't
like you guys are like, they should admit it. I'm like, I don't know that that's always the case.
No.
Some people maybe just like you just said. You made a good analogy of the sandwich. Because like to me, that's like they just don't want their shit fucked with. You know, like, and to a certain extent, I get that. But also, I've been around a while, so every time I go in and my shit gets fucked with, I'm like, fuck. Well, and I leave, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
If you like your sandwiches a certain way, you should make your sandwiches. You shouldn't rely on a business that has to make money by getting a large audience.
Speaking
to
of
make
making your own sandwich,
sandwiches
let's
for you.
get BOWSETTE back up here.
I'm gonna speak against that.
Okay.
Only just for the purpose.
Yeah,
of
yeah, no,
but I'm gonna speak against that only because I'll never make my own food. Ever.
right, he's
Yeah.
I'll instead go to. So a good example is I used to go to El Pollo Loco all the time, which is like a Mexican place here
You
in
traded
California.
up from El Pollo Loco to Chipotle?
Well, I mean, I still go to El Pollo Loco. all the
thank
time.
God.
Bro, a chicken? That's hard to say. Trade up.
It's great.
It is really
El
good.
Pollo
I
Loco's the
like
best.
And
that.
they used to have a thing called the Nacho Pollo Bowl, and it was awesome. It was a pollo bowl. It was like chicken, guacamole, all the other shit you expect in a bowl, plus chips and cheese. It was awesome.
That
Did they
does sound
stop
really
serving
good.
it because it started killing people, literally?
No, they stopped serving it because nobody bought it. And I used to get this Nacho Pollo Bowl 3-4 times a week, man. Woof. I went in there every time, Nacho Pollo Bowl. And The day that I found out they stopped serving that thing, I went, "Are you kidding me?" And I had a crisis for a second. I was
You're not going to go home and make it yourself.
I was definitely not going to go home and make it myself. What am I, a plebe? And I said instead, I went, "Am I going to continue going to El Pollo Loco?" And I really did. I had this thought, and I was like, you know what? I don't know that I am. I don't know that yeah. And it's like, for me, it was a personal decision. Will I boycott the restaurant because they took away the thing that I loved? Or will I continue going back to El Pollo Loco, find something else that I love?
Yeah.
You know what I did? Can you guess?
You never went back.
That's not true.
Oh.
I went back probably the next week.
I think I went there with you not that long ago.
I went back probably the next week, and I was
You were like, check out this bowl. It's real good.
and I was like, and I found something else that I liked. And I was like, you know what?
BRC burrito? $1, come on.
So for me, I learned a lesson. If you don't like the thing, just don't buy the game. Like, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. That's
You
easy.
sometimes have to adapt as well. Like I definitely,
Like I did,
when
yeah.
I was a teenager and I was reading comic books, I had a period where I was definitely elitist. That I was like,
yeah.
These movies are coming out and it's not accurate. What are you doing? I've like spent my whole life reading these comics. Why are these different? And then I grew up a little bit and I was like, things are allowed to be different. That's fine. They don't all have to be the same. And but it did take me a while to get to that point where I was like,
It does.
I'm invested in this. I've spent money on this. Why is this different to what I've been reading my whole life?
Did you see it as like a disrespect of the amount of time and effort you had invested in that series?
I think so.
Okay.
But it would have also been an ownership and a part of my identity. It would have been like, I read Iron Man and I know this character and I'm invested in this, and then you've put this thing out for everyone else who hasn't always read Iron Man and it is different. It just like became a thing that was frustrating, but that made me a shithead. It didn't help anyone else. I was just being a dick. So I was like, all right, it's fine. They're allowed to be different.
It was the same with the chicken bowl. I went in
Just
and
the
I
same.
got that chicken bowl.
Threw it in their face.
And I thought for sure that everybody loved this nacho pollo bowl. I had to pull my perspective out and go, wait a minute. Other people don't like this nacho pollo bowl. And I said, who's crazy enough to not like the nacho pollo bowl?
I'm going to be honest, I kind of
They
want
would
to try
say
it
they're
now.
Pollo
It
Loco.
sounds pretty good.
God, I really want one of those now.
It was great.
Sound pretty good.
Was it like nacho cheese sauce?
No. It was actual cheese. Come on, dog. Nacho cheese sauce.
I was curious. I didn't know if we were
El
getting
Pollo Loco,
I didn't know
flame
Pollo.
more chicken.
Yeah, that's
What
like
is
Taco
Texas?
Bell.
Look right over the counter and see them making that chicken.
real
Del
shit.
Taco
They're chopping
garbage.
it back
Turn
there.
it over.
But either way, like I had to change my perspective on things and be like, I guess not everybody liked it.
There is a situation here, though, too, where people are. It's weird because they're viewing it as a patch change, right? So
Yeah.
they've already paid their money into it, and they're like, "Why are you changing the game
That's
that
true.
I've already
Well, they're
that
trying
I've
to
already
sneak this
paid
feminist
for?"
agenda on you.
It's just more
Yeah.
like I already had this thing. We had agreed. We had a deal, right? And now you're changing the deal,
That's
and I
valid.
get that frustration too.
I do too.
That's
Except they didn't. That's the weirdest part. They
Except they
didn't change
didn't.
It's
the
the
deal.
perception
I
of
think
change.
there are a lot of like different
layers
people who
there.
probably have different problems with it. I do not jump to assume everyone who is against it is sexist. I think they are probably more
don't
likely
either.
frustrated.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, but there are surely some of them are. But I don't think there's a lot of different issues that are just like keep the thing the same.
I could see
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
just concern about that in general. I think a lot of people are justifiably is maybe not the right word, but I think that I mean I remember gaming in the late '90s. Being a dude, it was awesome. Like it was just chicks and spandex and swords and guns.
I
and
also
things
played
blowing
games
up.
in the late 90s.
Yeah,
I didn't notice.
Well, yeah,
No
but
part of me was ever like, why is she half naked? I was always just like,
yeah,
Video game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've certainly felt that my demographic is no longer the target for all of this when it used to be. And luckily, I'm old enough to have that not bother me. But if I were young and hyper passionate about games still, I might have a strong opinion about it.
Man, I didn't even think of that stuff. I never even thought of that.
I didn't.
That never crossed my mind that I was like, they are marketing directly to me, a teenage boy.
Really?
No. I was always
mean,
like, and
It was always
But
me.
that would
so
be
I
because
was-
they were always marketed towards you, so you'd never think about
but I
it.
also knew girls that played video games that they didn't notice either.
I never noticed.
They weren't like, they're like, I can't believe she's in spandex. They'd be like, isn't that chick hot? And I was like, yeah.
Same.
She is.
I think it's like a tuna net, right? It's a net designed to get tuna, but sometimes dolphins get scooped up in it too.
Well, I think it's more.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Holy shit.
I think more fundamentally, it's like a lot of games were about challenge, difficulty, input complexity, and basic things like saving women. Then you got stuff like The Sims or Nintendogs, which stereotypically lean more feminine, but are typically also not about standard video game things. And those have a more even split about demographics that enjoy them versus games about a really muscular dude shooting a bunch of aliens. And
I've
snapping
never
necks.
felt like video game marketing has ever pushed me away. Like, Neo is one of my favorite games, and that's a game where the character gets beat up and you see more of her underwear. And I was
Nier?
never, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she
What's
got
on it?
battle damaged.
You can see more of her underwear progressively, and at no point was I like, how fucking dare you? I was like, nice. Like, if she jumps, you see it. It's great.
Well, I mean, like, there's
Never
She's wearing
bothered me.
crazy heels the whole
much
time.
to
too.
Yeah.
much to like the James marketing, which is shredded dudes getting their clothes ripped off during video games. That happened a lot too.
Yeah.
It did.
I never questioned that either.
No.
Well,
I
think
have a
that-
couple questions.
But I think that's a power fantasy, though, right? Like, that's
Yeah, no.
still marketing towards men.
yeah, it's a power fantasy.
Well, I remember
Power
thinking,
fantasy.
I can't remember when it hit me, but I think I was playing Soul Calibur. I think it was like 4 is when the proportions started getting really crazy in Soul Calibur. And I was just like sweating looking at Sophia. And I was like, wait a minute, all the dudes are crazy jack too. This is just like,
And then you've got Voldo.
yeah,
so over to
an
the
old
side.
bendy Voldo. So it's basically just, that's when I was like, well, okay, maybe it's, I mean, it kind of is it's still a masculine slant, but everything is overblown. Because Mitsurugi is fucking shredding out of his cool katana-gi. Oh, man.
I feel like the Final
mean,
Fantasy
Fucking
games,
Ivy.
like, women totally have crushes on Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, but those are, I would also say, a little
People
more-
like Squall a lot, right? They're like, oh, he's so dreamy.
Well, I mean, I would say Final Fantasy is a little more feminine leaning in general, just because it's got pretty music and sparkles,
Love
and pretty boys and
themes.
love, yeah, and women actually doing things and saying things.
Yeah.
And
Occasionally getting kidnapped, but it's fine.
yeah, they usually bust out. I mean, 10-2, the mechanic was changing outfits. That's how you
Yeah.
got your powers. Fucking sweet. 13-3, I think.
Lightning showed up.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Maybe that's why I didn't play these games.
You gonna play
Because
Final
You're a
Fantasy?
man.
because
Yeah.
I was
Too
thinking to
doodly.
myself, like, I want to play Contra, not Final Fantasy.
Two guns.
Well, remember Super Street Fighter 2 when the cinematic opening
Oh,
cinematic?
yeah.
I wouldn't even have quarters, and I just watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Charge up that Hadouken.
Oh, man.
I had to make a whole separate layer just
Big
for
ass
his
biceps.
bicep.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. They were like, we're going doubling down on them being shredded.
They were
Now
all-
Street Fighter 5, you look at them, they're all jacked.
You
Even
bet.
Chun-Li.
Even Chun-Li.
Laura is from another dimension. And how is she related to Sean? That's the greatest joke of all.
Why?
Because Sean's a little asshole. He's the Dan of Street Fighter 3.
He's kind of jacked, though.
I think as soon as you start
tiny.
thinking about relationships in any fighting game, you're in for a bad time. Just don't do
I'm
it.
gonna keep thinking about it.
Don't.
I'm gonna keep thinking.
not a good idea.
What if Peach and Laurette? Damn.
Laura. Oh,
I mean,
her
she's
with
already-
the feminizing. I mean, you can't.
Just-
You can't. You
Feminize her
can't
anymore.
chase perfect.
She just turns into
Come on.
Cammy.
Kind
She
of.
got that cut off. There's like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
Jesus
it's this
Christ.
alternate outfit where she got a cut
becomes
off.
Cammy.
Don't worry, her boobs will stay up on her
Yeah.
own.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Hold on. This is just dudes in a basement looking at magazines. Omar, can you throw it to the Google image search page, please? I'm sure this is all work safe. Yeah. Boom.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. You got to get
Oh
into Street
boy, look at that
Fighter-verse.
one with Jury. That's not okay.
Damn. So this is the thing. Like,
That's bad
I actually
touch.
really like Laura. I like her moveset.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I can handle. I don't know.
I mean,
man.
I think she looks cool. I
Her,
don't know.
very cool.
her
Yeah.
Bonita alternate outfit is like where her pants are unbuttoned. See right here.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I see.
Her pants are unbuttoned, and she's wearing a top that just covers her areola.
And that G-string.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went all out.
Yep. It's intense.
wow.
It's intense, man. You gotta.
Wow, wait, do you need the tissues?
I was just like, I can't believe it right now.
But then again, like, there are some ladies who get the brow sweats. I know that what was it? Naked Snake did it for a lot of ladies. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I think of,
You were saying
That's-
tough,
again,
tough,
Squall. I think
like hyper masculine.
Bitches love
she's
Squall.
hyper feminine.
Yeah.
Hyper
Well,
masculine.
She's the masculine version of a woman, which is just huge boobs, giant
Ask
hips.
Alanah, who was the biggest man crush you had in video games?
Oh, it's totally Nathan Drake.
There you go.
I feel like that would be a go-to. Ezio as well.
Man's man.
big.
Yeah.
Nathan's Drake.
So, like,
he's a
roguish,
man's man.
Yeah, but they're like charming and like
He's little.
I don't know, kind of like independent. Like I think those two are like probably pretty big ones.
Ezio was cool. He had a
Andrew
whole arc.
Ryan. No, it's not. Just a creepy old man.
He's not creepy. He just knows what he wants.
Very rich.
You notice how she picked two men whose personalities determine their characteristics.
Well, I'd also
Whereas-
go Geralt, which again is mostly for personality reasons.
Yeah,
But he's also super hot. They're actually all super hot.
Well, yeah.
But I would pick them for personality reasons, yes.
but compared to Laura, who, what's her favorite color? Laura's my favorite. She shoots electric moons. Puts me in headlocks.
Good enough. Yeah, Mars, Venus. It's crazy out there. Anyway, don't get mad at Total War just because ladies can lead armies now. Or do. Whatever. man.
Or do and mod it out, or don't play it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of choices there. I feel like you can-
The only thing that I'm comfortable saying don't do is review bombs. I think like review bombing is shitty. Like you can not like a thing and that's okay. You can express that you're angry about it and that's okay. Review bombing is hurting every person who's ever worked at that company and it sucks. Don't do
True.
that.
Especially like Creative Assembly. Those
Yeah.
are one of the like old time companies that has lived for a very long time, putting out great products for a pretty small market. To target them just because some lady JPEG starts showing up in your game seems
And
really
it's just
unfair.
something that stays as a mark on that game like forever as well. It's not something that's easily removed. Like it's just not. It's just shitty.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's not shitty. Getting nerd-based items through the mail with Loot Crate, who's sponsoring this podcast. I did not get. Oh, it's
Now
empty.
you're fine.
Hiya. Hey, I got a box. They sent me one. This is Loot Crate. So every month, basically, they send you a box with a lot of items in it, according to a particular theme. This one, I got a Rick and Morty Monster Mayhem thing, which I haven't even opened.
Can I open
Anybody
it?
want- Yeah, go for it. Also got a shirt. This is an XL box, because that's probably the most common size. That looks pretty cool. Whoa, a lot of hair on it. That's weird.
Is that like a Nintendo 64 getting?
No, it's
baseball batted?
the printer from Office Space. It's all smashed up. So
Ah.
yeah. So I got an XL if anyone wants that. There's a Harley Quinn notepad. A Batman pop socket. All kinds of goodies every month.
Was there like a theme for this month?
Lovely dog. Let's see here.
Yeah, this one's pretty miscellaneous.
I'm just like, wow,
Says-
they now.
The theme is mayhem. Life gets messy sometimes, especially if you're making a mess. Some of our favorite characters and iconic moments have something in common. Total mayhem. Wreak havoc responsibly with this collection of exclusive gear. So
It
yes.
looks like a Disney Infinity portal.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a little Morty.
Oh, little guy. So they say there's a t-shirt guaranteed in every crate, so if you need to deck out your closet with a variety of nerd logos and stuff like that, this is a good place to start. They say it also packs $60 of value into each crate for less than $30 a month. You can't lose with all that gear. They also say the crates will sell out every month. You only have until September 27th at 9 p.m. to guarantee your order, or this crate will be gone forever. So if you want to get on that train, go to lootcrate.com/dude. It's just like free Christmas every month. Free goodies. Get this little guy. What a great accent for a desk.
That's cool.
You know that staring at you while you're flicking through your Peachette
That's it.
collection.
That's it.
Yes, your pictures of Geralt. He's in that tub, man. His heels up.
Well, I know the photo. Oh, I've seen it.
You can subscribe by going to lootcrate.com/dude to get and enter our code DUDE to save an exclusive 15% off your subscription. Much more, that's lootcrate.com/dude and use code DUDE for 15% off. Thank you, Loot Crate, for the sponsorship. I hope we get more. I like opening trinkets.
One of the coolest things I ever got from a Loot Crate was this Batman smartwatch that, incredibly lame, still a big fan, would tell you if you were sitting for too long and it'd be like, Batman, you need to go on patrol.
That's pretty cool.
And it'll like warn you. And if you'd gotten your steps in for the day, it would play this little like animated shot of Batman punching the Joker in the face. It's like you'd done enough walking that you'd
Nice.
fought crimes.
Nice.
That's adorable.
And it would be like, da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it was
I always love the part in Batman comics when he's walking around Gotham looking for crime.
punching Jokers.
Yeah.
I
Speaking of
found
which,
you.
I spent over $100 on ordering that Batman comic where you can see Batman's
Oh,
dick.
did you?
Yeah.
I did. Thank you. Hasn't arrived yet. Pretty excited about it. Just wanted you all to know.
Excellent.
Nice
so
job.
it's silhouetted, right? Like he's just.
Yeah, you can just see the
You
outline.
can see it. It's. I mean, it's
it's-
got
yeah,
like
it's
You can see him enough to know
a
he's
glow.
circumcised.
It's pretty
A
clear.
moon glow.
It's
on
pretty
it,
clear
I'd
there.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
Why was it $100?
Oh,
out of
because
print,
yeah, they stopped printing it. It sold out everywhere, and then they decided not to print it. Or you can't see his dick anymore, I guess.
That's bullshit.
But I want that back dick.
It's just a dick. We've all got one.
I think that's kind of bullshit, actually. I don't know why they stopped printing it.
It costs a
more.
stir, I guess.
Print more of the dick.
I would guess it
peek
like
at a dick.
it just passed a lot, and no one really higher up realized there was a dick in it, and then it kind of went viral, and they were like, "Oh no, oh we can't have that."
Well, they're selling
So,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore.
Well, speaking of purchasing dicks, you had adventures in Japan.
I did.
I don't know if any of them involved purchasing body parts, but I don't know, man.
Well, there are.
Segways.
There's this 7-story tall toy store in Akihabara that's called Mandarake, which is awesome. It's just like full of toys, like retro toys, new toys, like retro games. There's tons of cool shit in there. But it did have an entire floor dedicated to both hentai and hentai toys.
Wow.
Which is not a thing that I expected when I went to Japan. Is
Are
the
those just
amount?
like fleshlight inserts, or
No, just some of them were like customizable women. You could like swap body parts and just have them be naked and like build your own sort of like just statue situation. A lot of toys where like women
great.
have like butt plugs in, stuff like that. Didn't expect that.
so you
One floor?
you buy a
One
lady
level.
who has a butt plug inserted,
Yeah.
so you can appraise it and look at it
Yes.
and appreciate it.
Yeah. Just like, it's just everywhere. They just kind of have porn toys everywhere. I don't know that they count as porn toys, but just like generally very sexually explicit things. And some of them are like they have tentacles on them and just, it's very interesting.
It's art. That's what it is.
When I was walking through those floors, I kept wondering, is like, the young Japanese men here uncomfortable with my presence here? But I don't think they were. I think everyone was just like, this is normal here. It's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, there's sort of an invisible bubble of privacy that follows you even when you're in public in Japan, it seems. It's just part of the culture. No one's going to get into your business and ask
Yeah.
you what you're doing, even if you're doing something that's pretty creepy and weird. Like, taking out a little spyglass and looking directly at a butt plug to make sure it's inserted properly.
Didn't see any of that.
The misprints, man, you never know. Might be off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something refreshing about that, about the thorough destigmatization of sex in Japan. It probably goes a little too far sometimes, but
Yeah, but like same token, I had to get a train at 7:30 in the morning, and they were like, "You need to go to the women's only train, the cabin or whatever." Yeah, like
Really?
in the mornings, yeah, because like women get assaulted on the train so often that it's only when it's really really busy, like rush hour. And they were like, I was like, "Oh, that doesn't sound great. Thank you for the heads up," because otherwise I would have just like gone on it. But yeah, it was otherwise fantastic. Actually, that wasn't even bad. It was interesting. One thing that they don't tell you about Japan before you go is there are spiders everywhere.
Really?
That country has a lot of spiders.
I didn't know that either.
I'm Australian, and I went there and was like, why didn't anyone warn me about the presence of giant spiders in Japan? They're all over the shrines. They're just everywhere.
What kind of spiders? Like how big? What?
that's fairly large.
Huge spiders everywhere. We had a private bathhouse in one of the places we were staying in Hakone, which is actually based on Tokyo 3 and Evangelion. It's a really, really cool place. It's like a beautiful sort of lakeside town that has a pirate ship on the lake for whatever reason. Terrible pirates. I don't know who they're stealing from, but you can see Fuji from there. It's gorgeous. But we had this private bath that's like natural hot springs and everything. And there were, before I was willing to get in it, there were 4 spiders just like in those rooms just hanging out. Like, no one fucking told
Did
me
you
this.
kill them?
Yeah.
Aw.
Are they like the spiders big enough that they bleed? Like, have you ever stepped on a spider that it like explodes and there's blood?
Yeah. I don't know about blood, but gunk.
That's a
Spider
big
goo.
spider.
I had a lot of them. No one told me that.
Spiders are helpful. They're just nice little guys.
Also terrifying.
Nah, they just eat bugs.
They kill other bugs.
They
Do
kill
you
other
hate bugs? So do spiders.
I hate spiders more than I hate bugs.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Bummer.
You only say that because there's less bugs thanks to spiders.
It's true.
I don't
Fighting
like
to
thinking
defend
about
us.
it. Like, give me more bugs. It means there's no spiders in my apartment.
I actually briefly considered buying a spider
To fight your
to
ants?
fight my ants. Because
Spiders eat ants?
I mean, I assume they eat anything.
You train them to.
But that's the thing. I was
Surely
like,
they do.
I wonder if I can bait all of the ants into a spider's
Come out in an ant
cage.
costume, huh?
Because I can't release a spider in my house, right?
No, absolutely.
Why?
So,
Also, ants have nests. So would you just throw the spiders on the nest and have them go at it? Or?
well, the nests are in a wall. I can't get to the nests.
Do you think
They're
anyone's ever done that where they've just like scooped up a spider from outside and put it like near an ant's nest and just been like, do your thing?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if that
I feel like
works.
the ants would kill that spider.
Yeah.
They might. So that's
One
Oh,
spider
that's
versus
true.
a billion ants is like the exact
Ants
kind
are,
of
like,
fight
freaky
that they
strong.
love.
that was the exact thought I had, and I was like, well, maybe I buy more spiders. I was wondering if an army of
whole thing of
spiders,
spiders, yeah.
How many?
could defeat an army of thousands of ants.
It's tough.
How many
I don't know.
spiders?
It's like Spider-Man fighting ant.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe 10 spiders.
It's like turn
10
into a
spiders
fist.
versus thousands of ants?
I
Yeah.
don't think that's enough.
I don't think so. Because don't ants have enough strength that they can carry like 4 times their body weight or something along those lines?
They
I don't
can,
think
but
the
they're
ants
also
are
really
just, like-
dumb.
They can also eat a lot.
But it's their team.
Yeah,
it's
they're
their
sting.
willingness to die.
It is.
For the
And spiders
cause.
can't
because they're
eat
not
fast.
dumb because they all have hive mind, right? So
Well-
they're like working towards a cause.
Yeah, they're not. They're
not
not
spiders
smart.
are just gulping them down. They have to like
They have to yeah,
bite
they just
them and then
suck
web them up.
Yeah,
and
no,
suck 'em
it's
down.
like it's not easy.
Yeah.
And like ants are weird because they have a hive mind, but the hive mind's not smart. Like it's like we go for things and but like James said, thousands of them die trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Which is not, in my opinion, not very smart. But I was like, I wonder if I can bait these ants into a spider's cage and then find out if the spider and the ants will fight.
I think they would, well,
I guess you just
Why
you
would
get
the
your
ants-
plastic tub of spiders, pull the lid off. You flip it upside down real quick.
Yeah.
And you thunk it right on top of the ant. I know you can't get there.
Can't get to the ant's nest.
You
I have
need-
to bait the ants outward.
Yeah, you need some like test anthill in the middle of your apartment, just in the floor.
What would ever bait the ants into actually going for a spider, though? You kill one
The
of
stuff I have. So I have ant bait. It's happening right now behind my toilet. I put an ant bait down because I saw ants. I saw like 5 of them, and I was like, I bet. I'm getting really good at figuring out ant nests, by the way. And I was like, I bet they're back
Put 2
there.
fingers to the ground.
So, I put the ant bait down, and within 10 minutes, there were hundreds of ants all over this ant bait.
Wow. Oh,
shit.
It's like sugar and borax. It kills them. Kills them like over a day. But I could put that in a spider's nest, have them come to it, then they would go for that, and the spider could.
I'm very
But
because
you
the
already
thing with,
have the poison.
I do, but then they would die faster, and they die
then the spider
more
might eat it.
viciously.
they would die more interestingly.
'Cause
Like
I
you could
hate
live
ants.
stream it, and it'd be like a battle royale situation.
Then who do you get to
could.
kill the spiders?
You could
the
poison
problem.
the spider. When the ants ultimately kill and consume the spider, they will die in mass because of how many it took
Poison
to take
spider?
down the
How do
spider.
you
Think
poison
about
a
that.
spider?
Well, they have other baits that are like hard baits that they crawl into and then take back to the nest, and that poisons the nest.
Ooh,
Yeah, but they don't take that. They don't like it
No, because
Okay.
they know.
because they know.
wow.
It's poison.
So now you got to get a lot of spider poison and a lot of spiders.
Yes.
But the spiders eat the poison, the ants eat the spiders.
Ultimately, I decided it wasn't worth it.
I still want to know what that fight looks like though, because like if you have even like 10 ants, 1 spider, can't the ants just they are fast enough that they just crawl on it?
Yeah,
and
they
then what's the
probably-
spider gonna do? Just like walk around with a bunch of ants on it?
I don't know.
mean,
I don't buy it. I think ants win hands down.
I think so.
And spiders are also defensive predators.
That's
You
true.
fall into their trap.
Yeah.
They don't attack.
That's a good point.
They
That
they
is
capture
true.
stupid ass flies and moths and stuff. They're just flitting around wherever.
So what animal attacks ants? That's what I want to know.
Human beings
Uh,
and
Anteaters.
Anteaters, yeah.
Oh, anteaters!
Yeah, you
Get
need
an
one of
anteater.
I
those.
could get an anteater.
But he's not going to want to destroy the hive because that's his meal ticket.
What eats ants?
I'll feed them after
Do they
that.
think that way?
Of course they do.
I think that anteaters might actually go for hives and like eat them out.
Yeah, they do.
I really hesitated on that
Well, no,
phrasing.
they got
It's like,
them out.
fuck it, it's
They got a
fine.
long tongue that they just like spiral into anthills and
Yeah.
like suck them all out like
Yeah,
a straw. It's
they
awesome.
totally do.
I wonder if I could domesticate an anteater and
Yeah,
then have
that's a-
him
that's
walk
a
around
fun
my
here.
house
Show
Beetles,
and
cat.
eat ants.
I think it's
We
a
have
pretty safe
ant
bet.
mounds in Australia,
yes, you could.
and people sometimes put shirts on them.
Oh no.
It's very good. If you can Google that, that's a very good thing to look up. It's like the ant mounds in Australia can be like twice the size of a human. They're huge.
I saw that,
And then you
yeah.
just like put a shirt on them, and sometimes people put glasses on them and shit. And it's
Oh,
like, oh,
okay.
it's Barry.
In Texas, we have fire ant hills, which are like maybe 6 inches tall. But if you step in one, holy
Oh,
fuck!
no, yeah.
Ugh.
Those are terrible.
Texas ants are another thing.
We're getting way off topic, but you see the video of the wasp's nest that someone sent a drone after?
No.
So the drone was like using its blades to like cut the nest.
Oh, no.
And I felt really bad for the wasps because
They're like, what the
they're
fuck?
designed to kill and defend that nest.
Yeah.
And so they started the attack pattern. But as soon as they go to a blade, you just see it go and get shot out.
Jesus.
And they're trying to get it, but it was a mechanical machine. They couldn't stop it. Must have been very frustrating.
Wow.
Imagine what it's like for them. I like
Wild.
to imagine what our stupid lizard brains can't comprehend that goes on around us all the time. Maybe it's just on a different time
I think
scale.
animals
but,
think we're dumb in some ways.
I don't even think
Like
it registers.
animals are like, why do these humans not understand these
I
goddamn
think we
idiots?
think other things are dumb that are actually more orchestrated than we have the mind space to comprehend. Like a mechanical monster buzzing its blades into our home.
Sounds like you're coming up with a religion there, Lawrence.
You know what? This is no joke.
You want to get back into AI?
When I
theory?
was like, well, a little bit. When I was like 2021, I was like, I could probably start a cult. I could probably do it, and I don't know if I want to or not. I decided against it, but I mean, L. Ron Hubbard did it. It's honestly not that hard. A lot of the tenets are the same.
So you're saying
You just have to be really willing to manipulate a lot of people's
Yeah.
like weaknesses.
that's generally the hurdle.
Yeah.
I couldn't get myself down there to do it.
That's
Glad you're
good.
not a
I'm glad. That means
sociopath.
you're
Got
not
close.
a sociopath.
But I
Got
mean,
close.
I was on the verge of embracing the "it's for their own good" mentality of like, I'll teach them how to live.
so
Basically.
Thanos.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The most recent cult that I read about, I think they pressed charges because what's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow
Oh, Goop.
was part of it.
Oh wait, is this the
They
sex
were like,
cult?
yeah, they were
Oh,
like recruiting
that's the CW
virgins.
actress.
Yeah,
That's-
You're right.
Alison
Sorry,
Mack.
you're right. Yeah,
Salsa Mac.
interchangeable. That's what I was.
That
probably
is-
both
that-
put
what a ride,
rocks
though.
in that
Every
vagina.
single
You gotta-
cult is just a dude that wants to bang a bunch of people.
Absolutely.
It's
it
always
is.
sex.
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's because that's what
Jeez.
humans are usually
Get money,
driven by.
fuck bitches.
Yeah. If you like give in to your most base urges, it's almost always sex. Like it's very rare. It's not even money because money equates to sex, usually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get money for free by like brainwashing a bunch of rich people. They just
that's-
come and bring all the money to you.
That's what separates us from the animals is when we don't give in to those base urges.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
No, that's
Yeah. Dogs are out here like having sex with people's legs. So
they're having
I
a
love
great
dogs.
time.
that's messed up.
I do like to imagine that there is some super race that has evolved out of making the cornerstone of all their life decisions sex related.
Yeah, it's octopus.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the octopi are just laughing at us, thrashing around,
Brilliant
trying to fuck
geniuses.
whatever.
Octopi are very, very smart.
It's terrifying.
It's cool.
They have to trick them when they keep them in aquariums. They have to trick them into not breaking out of their cages. Like when they try and feed them, sometimes they'll like try and grab you and like pull you in, and all the octopus have different personalities. And like the trainers have to be
So
like,
cool.
that bitch wants me in that, like she wants me to drown. So they
Yeah.
have to like be careful of like which octopus they feed at which time, and it's intense.
That's really cool.
There were two
Is it?
octopus-related stories recently. There was one there was like a snorkel diver who made friends with an octopus that she named Egbert, and like would go back and meet Egbert every day and started like bringing it food, but then would leave it in a jar and it figured
Yeah.
out how to unscrew the jar.
They have to like make the challenges for them slowly more complicated so they don't get bored, because especially in captivity they're worried about them being just like horribly bored and just like bashing their heads against the wall.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They're
depressing.
very scary animals.
And then they gave that octopus ecstasy, and all it wanted to do was touch everything.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they gave.
I read
hold
that
on,
one.
let me-
I read that story.
It just got really touchy-feely. It was like, you touch me. It's octopus. Octopus awesome.
Oh.
Octopi are great.
Question: how do octopi have sex?
Awesomely.
I actually don't know.
It's so tender.
Know what their reproductive
lay
organs
eggs?
are? Do they?
I don't know.
I wasn't sure.
I bet it's the best fucking. Oh, Jesus. Why on that one of all pictures? Anyway, yeah. There's an
Wow.
octopus tripping its ass off.
You can see it in its eyes, I think, maybe.
Yeah, by dosing the tentacle creatures with MDMA, researchers found that they share parts of an ancient messaging system involved in social behaviors with humans. I want a high-ass octopus friend.
They just want to touch.
Yeah.
Wow,
We can go see St. Lucia together.
that's crazy.
Can you click on the picture or the link to high five each other? I like that that's a hyperlink, and I want to see where it takes me.
High-fiving octopus caught on tape.
Oh, yeah.
Do they know? So is this like they're celebrating something?
I don't.
I guess we'll find out in 48
Yeah.
seconds or less.
Ew. Bro, I got my hands on some sweet ecstasy, dog.
They're just touching each other.
gonna be lit.
They're just touching each other.
And just like boop. Maybe that's just so they know that like their bud's still out there.
Maybe.
Hey,
That's not a
buddy,
high five,
hey,
really. That's
still
more of
down
a
there?
hand holding.
It was
Yeah.
kind of like a palm slap.
I mean, how are you going to do that when you have things that attach, right?
suckers.
Yeah, they suck
You
your
know,
thumb.
it's got to be hard for them. God, this
Holy
is
shit, is
just
it
terrifying.
350?
Yeah, we started a little late.
Wow.
But we're in extra hours now because of octopi. And how
worth it.
rad they are. Anyway, let's harden that real quick. Gotta wrap her up before we move on
I
to
vote
post-show.
for octopi.
All right.
Same.
Man, sadly, BOWSETTE is not. It's too current.
It's
Too
way
broad.
too, that's way too current.
It's everyone's.
Yeah, that
It's not
belongs to the
internet
world.
It's easy netting, really.
Yeah. No, it's very hard.
Easy nutting, more like.
Nice.
Because I'm going to come to those.
Yeah,
No, we got it.
We
Yeah.
understand. We got it.
Sorry, can you explain it again?
I'm going to come to the drawings.
Got it. Sorry, I forgot for a second. Yeah.
Brief aside, while we get all the videos loaded up, have you guys ever challenged yourself to come as quickly as possible?
I've never challenged myself, but there have been situations where I'm like, I have to come fast or I won't be coming at all.
I got to knock this out.
Yeah.
I think
Or a woman just recreationally, yes, every time.
because you got better things to
Every
do.
time.
Every time.
I've never. So I'm not always in a rush, but I've never understood enjoying the ride. Maybe because, as we mentioned previously, I haven't really delved into the world of.
You've never used lotions.
Yeah, I've never explored. It's always been a means to an end.
I know. Light some candles.
Specific end.
I keep
Put on
trying.
a little Billy Idol.
First thing you do, I keep telling you, is to fuck a banana peel. Just do that. Just fuck a banana peel.
No, I don't think that's the first thing. That may be one of the last things.
I always thought. So you know how they have those like.
Warm it up in the microwave.
I might overheat it.
What are you doing with the peel? How do you wrap it around?
I mean, you kind of
Like a mummy?
You just grip it.
But
Rip it.
You have to leave some banana meat in there, right? So it
No.
just squishes all up.
No, you
No,
eat the
well,
banana.
because it's already like a moist thing.
Yeah, you eat the banana.
But do you peel it down all the way?
So you peel it how far?
Just eat a banana, and
No,
whatever
and then the
banana
empty
peel's
peel.
left
I
over, you fuck
understand.
it.
But I
yeah,
just
it's
have a-
there, but how do you get that?
Yeah, I have like a
Just hold
pleated
it.
skirt
It's gonna,
of it.
it's gonna.
Hold it.
But it's
I
gonna
understand
shred.
what's happening.
It probably will shred.
And then you just have a pile. Like, you just have banana palms.
But that makes it more anatomically correct.
But also,
That's true.
also that's your challenge though. If you want to come quick, fuck a banana peel.
Green or
Get
brown?
literally any lotion.
Fuck a couch.
Literally
Just
any
fuck
I've
a
lotion.
heard
couch.
about people fucking couches.
Yeah, just fuck a couch. Just
That's
do
too
it.
much work. Just use lotion.
But if you're facing the couch, you can't see what's on TV. Oh, you put a mirror.
Well, that's
you
the
put
thing.
an
is that
iPad on the pillow.
You don't. Yeah, you could do that too if you really wanted to, but sometimes you don't need the visual.
Put that print out of
You could just use the touch.
Well, he's talked about how he has
the
to take
couch.
his phone into the shower.
Don't have to.
So
He chooses to. It's
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I can catch up on the story in like 30-second chunks.
story.
Yeah.
What?
Honestly,
You
bless
mean-
that 15-second skip button. Just bless that.
All right, so for Hard Nettin, way back, or rather, we kind of came in on the end of an era for Zemo Nitro.
Zemo, yeah.
Has been doing the Wednesday Frog for an entire year, and all those treatments then got packaged into a 22-minute, 30-second extravaganza of Wednesday Frog. So if you're not familiar with Wednesday Frog, it is Wednesday My Dude's guy in a Spider-Man suit who then screams, and then that scream then got put on a frog who,
Okay.
anyway.
it's real good.
There's a lot of these. They're all about 20 seconds long. Omar, we're gonna need some audio.
I hear it, but it's really quiet, Omar.
Very quiet.
like really.
That might
really
be for the
quiet.
best.
Okay, I can picture it with that volume.
It's really great. Alanah, it's totally worth your time to watch a few of these videos.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is. They're great.
Okay. Oh.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he also establishes his own continuity. He's got his own like particular Wednesday Frogs. That's Hacker Frog. There's like there's the Dude Force. They're always busting in with guns
Wow.
and shooting everything. Anyway, he's getting cybercrime. Got him.
I'm very impressed.
It's real good.
So yeah, if you have 22 minutes to wonder what you're doing in this world, the 52-week Wednesday Frog is a fantastic video.
Oh, you can get like the whole story?
Yeah, put it all
and
together.
It kind of starts out with being like the history of our world. So it starts out with Wednesday Frog, like coming out of primordial ooze. It goes through Egypt and the Renaissance.
Wow.
Wednesday Frog learns how to paint. Yeah, so there's the initial cells separating to create Wednesday Frog. And then it just kind of goes all over the place. A lot of different treatments. Oh yeah, the other aspect is that
Skip 4 minutes in, he's got a visor with lasers.
every week he takes a remix of Wednesday Frog from SoundCloud and then animates to it. So there's a lot of different musical treatments of Wednesday Frog as well.
Wow.
That's really great.
Yeah, it's perhaps the hardest net that we've seen, especially considering that he did it for an entire year and just kind of posted it to Reddit.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
I'm very impressed.
It's really good. Really well done.
So yeah, it's gonna be some soft lobs against Zemo Nitro for a while now.
Well, it's tough because this is done.
Yeah, he's done.
So,
He's not
like,
making
you
any
know, at a
can't
certain
really do it
point,
again.
I want a
Yeah.
fighting champion.
Good point.
Yeah.
John actually just posted in the chat. A month ago, I reached out to this guy about becoming an editor for us. He's a 19-year-old student somewhere in Europe and couldn't oblige.
Oh.
Sadly. We'll get him yet. We'll get him. So this is going up against Real Skull AG, who, by the banner, has been hot on this automaton?
Automaton.
Got more views than us.
Automaton.
Yeah.
Automaton is
Oh,
probably.
I know
what it
these.
is.
I have one of these.
Yes. So it's yes.
Yeah.
It's the flute with the little face at the bottom.
Yeah.
I discovered these in Japan also.
Doing a whole lot. Yeah, they're pretty big in Japan. A whole lot of musical covers.
Africa.
all on
Yeah,
this.
that's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to sound basic, so I'm glad you
Oh,
did it
I'm
for
going
me.
to say just only because of the Weezer cover.
Oh yeah.
Weezer
It's
cover?
hot now.
Yeah, that's why it's hot. Because of the Weezer cover.
Isn't Africa always hot?
I mean,
Those are big
No.
We're gonna need some more volume on that.
Weezer covered?
yeah,
Wow.
Weezer, it's on the radio.
Wow.
But a lot of these also will remake aspects of the video using these instruments.
I kind of hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear very well.
Can you crank it a little more in here, Omar?
I heard that.
So how do you play it? Do you blow on the top of it?
It's no, you fret it. Oh look, it's raining.
There's like a little touchpad.
There's a neck
Oh.
basically, and it just makes the shittiest like square wave you've ever heard.
Do you have to blow into it?
I don't think. No, it's electronic.
Well, how's he making it play? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one.
That's really cool.
Yes, and I guess in the grand tradition of cat keyboard, this is a wonderful instrument that is being used to great effect. Let's see here. Oh, All Star, Down Under. Oh shit, Down Under. Yeah, so
Good for them for shooting a whole music video.
That's the thing that keeps getting
Yeah.
me is they put so much effort into this.
I know.
I mean, they're getting views.
Wow.
It's true.
Yeah.
One of them had over 1 million.
Oh my god.
yeah, they got hats and
I wonder how long they think they're going to do this for.
Can we stop making these instead?
yeah. Bruce, can we just change the channel?
Video games are canceled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Video games were fun. That Ninja growing up.
Wow.
I do like the shot-for-shot remake of the video, too.
Yeah.
That's very well done.
Good for them.
You know what I'm not crazy about? The watermark.
Yeah.
Share your art with the world, okay?
No, it went up there though.
No, it's right there. It's still there.
Oh.
Da Vinci didn't sign the Mona Lisa.
Somebody requested me channel. I saw that in chat, so that is a great suggestion.
Oh no, it's gonna be stuck in my head all afternoon now. Look at them all.
Man, they even created a fake
Good
like
for
meme
them.
page with all the automatons in it. Automaton.
732,000.
Yeah.
When did they contract with Bowsette?
I mean, once you learn this garbage instrument, it doesn't seem too hard.
No, I'm saying like the graphics.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, that's a little.
Are the videos monetized?
That reminds me of
Yeah,
the
anonymous.
Gmod guy.
I bet they are a lot.
Yeah?
I bet they are.
Because do they not have licensing issues?
Oh, they might. It might be parody though.
Yeah.
It's definitely parody, but I don't know if that counts on YouTube. But yeah, the screen punch-ins
Wow.
were very similar to Saw Hero Dude.
This seems like it would be way too much work if they weren't monetizing these videos.
Right.
Like
That's why I'm like, what's the payoff here?
that's really great.
Ocean Man.
That's really really
Oh, yeah.
good.
Somebody said take on me. There. Let's let that roll. All right. I think the automaton goes into like scribbly dimension. I could be wrong. Also, I know that somebody's losing their mind because I'm saying that wrong. Well, anyway, while that rolls, I can throw it to Evoke. Jesus Christ. James, who are you voting for? Who's Nettin harder?
Again, only because I love myself a fighting champion, I'm going to go to a Tomatone.
Okay.
Because of the regular uploads. The mass success kind of bothers me. I feel at this point we could be a hard Nettin candidate, but I want to give it to a champion who's going to defend that title.
And just so the rest of the votes know, Parcel Moose says this is too mainstream, the sort of thing your cousin shares on Facebook, not hard Nettin.
Whoa.
Being
But
mainstream and noticed was never, or being underground was never criteria for hard Nettin.
I mean, this is also kind of a default vote for me because if the other one's over, I don't know.
Yeah, we need Zemo to make more content.
We just shame him into making more content.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I mean, I think he's taking a break because he was cranking those out
Probably while he was
every
in college.
week for a year. Yeah. Alanah, who are you voting for?
I'm also going to go with the real Sully G, but for a different reason.
Okay.
Because the production value is insane. We put
really
a lot
is.
of effort into making those.
Yeah, it really
and
is.
I'm very impressed.
Fireflies. Yeah, that's the
I hate that song.
song we all want to hear.
Man, do I hate that song.
Bruce, who are you voting for?
I'm the same.
Okay,
I
wow.
did not think we would find a channel that has expended as much effort as Zemo, but Sully G has done a lot of work here to get this garbage instrument out to the world. So I appreciate that.
Oof. Well, all right. This channel has taken it through its wonderful production values. Wasn't the point of finding stuff that was weird and unique but not known? No, never said that. Never once. Occasionally, there is an intersection there. I mean, there are times when people will send like Facebook meme stuff. That's too easy, and I guess sure that is too. But whatever, it's still one. So take it
How
up with the
do you pick
panelists.
them then?
I don't know.
Cool.
It's
All
just
right.
however he wants.
Thank you.
It's his segment.
I was gonna say he literally invented it, so it's kind of up to him.
Yeah.
I just the criteria that I set a long time ago was something that it is an instance in which you can view the wonderful diversity of the human race through the internet.
It's beautiful.
That the internet has allowed people to either share what they're passionate about with other people, communities that wouldn't exist without the internet, Russian gadget cult, what have you. So yes, I feel like a lot of people enjoying covers of that music wouldn't exist without the internet.
It's like when that man kissed the corpse of his grandma.
Sorry, what?
Oof, that was the hardest net of all, I think.
Was I would agree.
Man.
What?
Yeah, there was a deaf
Don't worry about it.
DJ Def Joey.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me about this before.
Don't worry
And
about
I
it.
think
Yeah.
I had the exact same reaction.
Don't worry about it.
It was great because RTX got to show it to a whole live room of people that had listened to the podcast but never seen it before. So that was fun. Sorry about that. If you were still carrying the scars from RTX.
Thanks.
Oh boy. Oh, I got a nose itch right as we got to shut it down.
All
Sorry
right.
again.
You want to end? Here.
Thank you. Thank you for.
Look, she's dead. So she pops back up also.
God bless.
And she's back.
Omar's on it. Thank you, Omar. Finally, a peach for the rest of us. Am I right? Yeah. Mario's dick gets big when he eats a mushroom.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Hope it was illuminating. Please go Google image search BOWSETTE. Have yourself a nice, warm little evening. Got any announcements? Because Theater Mode Season 2 is premiered. Mm-hmm. Go check that out. That's for first members.
Yeah.
Funhouse Week still technically going?
Still going. We're in the second week of Funhouse Week, but I'm almost positive we're going to hit that 7K subs. We're getting real close.
Yeah.
So we only need a few more.
This is more of a thank you for your support already.
Yeah.
Yes, I think, that definitely bears mentioning. We try not to like directly ask you guys to do too much. Like some people do that a lot. Oh, go do this, go do that, spend money on this. We try to shy away from that because we figure if we're going to offer you a good thing, you'll find it. That's kind of our rationale usually. And yeah, it was really nice of you guys because we did ask and you guys turned out. It was crazy.
They did.
I think at least in the back of my head, I was like, man, it would suck if we just like said, hey guys, could you do this one thing, and no one would do it.
Yeah.
But no, it's completely the opposite. I'm honestly really floored by the support that you guys have shown. So thank you for that. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching, listening, however you're consuming this podcast. Thank you for being part of our productions, and hopefully we get to do a lot more cool stuff in the future. My eyes are burning. I'm so emotional.
All right. Lawrence is losing
okay,
it.
buddy.
So see you later.
See you next week. Bye, everybody.
Post show coming up.
That apparently is the price they're aiming for.
50 grand?
This fucking money.
I'm in.
You got 5 trips.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to take a loan for one.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you take out a loan though, and you die,
Hold on.
it doesn't matter.
The thing is, what company? No one's going to finance this because you get nothing back. The